Okay, here's the report. I counted up the books. The numbers are in. We have 297 seasoned members on the floor today. That's a good number. And we have 34 new members on the floor today. So I didn't do the math, but that's like 330 or something delegates, or possible delegates today. So that's exciting, guys. Happy 2022.
So do I understand correctly, this is 297 who meet the 180-day rule, and then 34 who do not?
Correct.
Okay, very good. No, we need the credentials first. What part of this do you object to, or all of it?
Mr. Chair, I object to the credentialing report. My name is Greg Perry, representing Bradford County. I object to the credentialing report. I find that we've reported eligible members that are in violation of Pennsylvania law.
Okay, I think your remedy then would be to vote against the credentials report, if that's your view.
I started this mess. I figured I got to stand up and take the heat for getting the ball rolling. So
okay,
that would be my motion.
All right. Is there a motion to accept the credentials report as presented? Okay. Second, any other discussion? Greg is raising the question of non-Pennsylvania residents. Are they included in this number? I understand that they are. And under 18, yes.
Do you want Greg to explain his objection? Or, I mean, we're presuming that everybody knows what he's talking about.
I think he's made his point, yeah. All right, let's vote on the report itself. Now we can consider the 180-day rule. The only people who can vote at this point are voting member people who meet the 180-day rule.
Motion to amend the report?
Go ahead.
Motion to amend the report to exclude those who are living out of Pennsylvania, who are not registered Pennsylvania.
Second that motion.
Seconded.
Okay. It's been made and seconded that we exclude as voting members those who are not residents of Pennsylvania. Okay. That's
point of order. We already have a motion on the floor to accept the credentialing report, so we would have to vote on that first before we can move on to a second.
This is a proposed amendment to the motion, so that would be in order.
So this is an amendment then? Okay.
Yes, this is an amendment.
No, you can't just say, call the question and cut off debate.
Does the original motioner accept the amendment? Joseph Van Wagner.
Who was the?
It's been seconded. It doesn't need to be accepted by the original.
Does the movement accept that amendment?
It belongs to the floor already. It's been seconded.
Oh, he does not. Okay. So the proposal before the body is, shall we exclude from voting membership at this convention people who do not reside in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? That's the question before the body. A yes vote means they should be excluded in support of the amendment. A no vote means they should not be excluded, or they should be included.
Point of order, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
just a moment. And so the question before the body is is on the amendment. Is it a point of order?
Yes, sir. Exclusions to delegates need to be made by name. They cannot be made by class. Nobody has any idea of who exactly is being excluded here, so I believe the amendment is out of order. Further, the amendment is in violation of your bylaws. Your bylaws allows out-of-state members. You cannot make amendments in violation of your bylaws.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll try and remind you about that.
Okay. The point of order is not well taken. The concept that we cannot exclude people.
I appeal from the ruling of the chair.
That we cannot exclude people as a class has no foundation at all. That is just word salad. And we're going to move ahead here, and a majority is going to make this decision.
Mr. Chair, my point of
on the
order had
merits,
2
not
points.
on frivolous side objections and appeals.
Mr. Chair, my point of order had 2 points. You said one of them was not well taken. The second was that it was in violation of your governing documents to exclude people that are already included as members. So my point of order had 2 points. You ruled 1 point of it not well taken. I would like to know about the second prong.
There is a perceived conflict between the election code and our bylaws. The body here is going to have to sort that out.
Then I appeal the
I'm
ruling.
not making any ruling at all. The body here is going to have to sort that out.
The motion is out of order. I am making a point of order that the motion is out of order.
Which motion?
The motion to exclude those members that are, according to your governing documents, perfectly allowed to vote only on the basis that they are out of state. That is in conflict to your governing documents. People have spent thousands of dollars and hours to come here. We've paid dues for multiple years.
Yeah. Under our governing document, Constitution of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania, Constitution, Article 8, I read it once before, bylaws and rules of the party shall be amended as to conform with the provisions of the Pennsylvania
There's been no
Election
amendment.
Code. And so,
Call the question.
all right, we're going to
There's
call
no
the question.
question.
The
I'm
question
waiting
is
for
on
a
the
ruling.
amendment. Let me
I
say,
appeal the ruling of
And-
the chair, Mr. Chair. I have a right to appeal the ruling of the chair. The body has the right to make
you're
this
going to
decision.
have the exact same vote the way we're doing it. We're going to vote on the amendment. If people agree with you,
No,
they'll
there's a
oppose the
different
amendment.
vote.
If
There's a
they
different
don't
vote
agree with you,
threshold.
they'll support the amendment.
There's a
This
different
is,
vote.
this is an absolute waste of time.
I-
and
No,
we're
Mr.
not
Chair, I
going
have a
down
right.
this
Ms. Harlos, would you please allow the chair to speak?
Thank
If you
you. I
continue
appeal.
interrupting, you will be removed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, he is.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's a vote.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
here I am.
All right. Those who may vote are everybody who has a voting delegate card. You can be from Pennsylvania or Timbuktu, doesn't matter. As of right now, everybody who's a voting delegate is a voting delegate. Okay? The green one. Okay? All right. The green ones, not the yellow ones. Okay. Now, the question is, the amendment to the motion, the amendment said that we should exclude people who are not residents of Pennsylvania. A yes vote is to support that amendment. A no vote is to oppose that amendment. Is everybody clear? A yes vote means that only Pennsylvania people will be able to vote going forward. A no vote means that everybody will be able to vote going forward.
Point of information.
That has green. We're not dealing with a 180-day rule. We're just dealing with green voting members.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Since this is an amendment to the Credentials Committee report, aren't the people who are being challenged by this amendment, shouldn't they reserve from voting, not vote?
They don't have to abstain.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Point of information.
yeah.
The chair stated that there was disagreement from the Legal Action Committee. Was there ever a formal ruling that is official as to whether or not we should even be voting on this?
The Legal Action Committee didn't make any formal statement on whether we should be voting on this.
Well, rather, the question being asked, there was never a final determination as to whether this is even an issue from PA state law. You mentioned yourself there are two disagreeing statements.
Yeah, I mean, their latter opinion was that we're okay. Their former opinion was we're not okay.
So I guess
so it's up to the body here to decide.
The question is the appeal out of order because we're operating on, all right.
Well, we're not doing an appeal. We're voting on the issue, and the effect will be exactly the same.
Or rather the amendment.
We're voting on the amendment to the credentials report. A yes vote would exclude non-Pennsylvania residents. A no vote would include Pennsylvania residents. Okay?
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The way I saw this, and correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know if this is correct, that there was a motion on the floor. Somebody moved that motion was out of order. You ruled it in order, and then there was a motion to appeal your ruling. Are we going to go forward with the motion to appeal your ruling of that motion being in order or out of order?
It wasn't seconded, and it was frivolous because
Second.
we're voting on exactly the same thing right now on the amendment.
Right, but that motion is out of order. You ruled it in order. We had somebody appeal your ruling. There are 16, 20 seconds in this room for that. So let's vote on the motion of whether.
So you want to vote. Let me see if I get this straight, Mark. You want to vote on whether or not we should vote on this amendment.
The motion on the floor is out of order. You ruled it in order. We appeal the ruling of the chair. That is the motion that is on the floor right now.
We can do things the easy way, but let's do them the hard way. We're going to vote on the appeal from the ruling of the chair. The chair said this amendment was in order. The appeal says it's not in order. So in other words, the chair says we can vote to exclude people who aren't from Pennsylvania. And the appeal says, no, we cannot vote to exclude people who aren't from Pennsylvania. Is that enough double negatives? So, a yes vote is to sustain the ruling of the chair.
Mr. Chair, this is debatable. I'm allowed to speak to my appeal.
Okay? A no vote is to overturn the ruling of the chair.
That is not how the vote works.
We're checking to see if this is debatable. Everybody with a green card can vote on this, no matter where you live.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Point of order?
Yes, sir. I would like to remind the delegates here that according to Pennsylvania state law, I know, get your booze out of the way, Pennsylvania law is what recognizes us as a political party, which we are, to put candidates on the ballot for elections.
That's not a point of order.
Therefore, anything. I am not finished. I am not finished. I can wait. I'm not finished, and I will wait. Bylaws cannot supersede state or federal election law, period. Yes, I agree, but in order for us to run candidates as a political party, we must follow and abide by state and federal election law. So you are putting all of our candidates that we are putting forward this year at jeopardy of not being on the ballot, and you will not have candidates to vote for in November.
Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. The appeal for the ruling of the chair is debatable under these circumstances. No one may speak more than once except the presiding officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would also observe, though, we should be under the current rules of Roberts, and I'm noticing the 10th edition. There might be differences between the 10th and 12th edition. I would ask that we be following the current Roberts rules. However, there are certain rights of the body under the governing documents. People have a right to depend upon what the governing document says. The board has not amended the Constitution or the bylaws. I noticed an earlier statement was made that the board decided not to waive notice requirements. Notice requirements are sacrosanct. They can never be waived. These bylaws have not had proper notice to be amended. Whatever the consequences may or may not be, we have a right to expect our member rights here. It is completely out of order to exclude dues-paying members simply on the basis that they are out of state when your governing documents allow them to be in state. If this body later wishes to amend the bylaws to exclude them, they may do that. But at this point, they absolutely cannot. And I thank you for your kind attention.
Yeah, let me clarify, we are not changing any bylaw with this vote or with the next one for that matter. Closer to the mic, please. We are not changing any bylaw. This is a vote on appealing the ruling of the chair on an amendment to the Credentials Committee report. Okay?
This is a point of personal privilege unrelated to this ongoing discussion. I'm taking the signups to be if you would like to be a Pennsylvania delegate to the National Convention in Reno, this is the official sign-up sheet. Come see me or make sure I get your name down if you would like to be.
And for the record, Mr. Enzer, where will you be?
I'm around, I'm standing up, I'm wearing an In the Fed shirt.
You're going to have to be a little more specific than the end of. You're going to have to be a little more specific than the end of Fed shirt.
All right.
Yeah.
Question.
I have a point of order about this amend to exclude non-Pennsylvania residents. Like, if someone is currently allowed to be a voting member, they have their green card, how can you just choose to exclude people by some arbitrary amendment? Could I say you have to be born in Pennsylvania to vote? You have to be a member of the Libertarian Party for 40 years? What can you amend right during the credential report? That doesn't make any sense to me. Did you just exclude whoever you want by an amendment?
Okay, thank you.
I'm a person who believes that the Pennsylvania Libertarian Party should in fact be controlled by Pennsylvanians. And later in the meeting, I intend to vote when the issue comes up in due course to only allow Pennsylvania residents to vote for our candidates. However, at this point, I believe that Ms. Harless's objection is correct and that any change that we make to credentialing, I believe that credentialing needs to conform to our bylaws. And if our bylaws are in fact in violation of Section 802, which, not being a lawyer but having gone back and read Section 802 for the purposes of this meeting, I believe is likely true, I think that's a matter for after credentialing has been approved. Thank you.
Okay. Ed.
Just as a point of information, under Commonwealth law, delegates to national conventions must be qualified electors in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So we should be vetting that because state law does not allow people who are not qualified electors in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to be delegates to national conventions.
Thank you. Chuck.
I rise in support of the chair in his original ruling, not because of the underlying issue, but because the chair is correct that it's pedantic, and we were going to vote, which would have the same effect. If we're going to take 3 or 4 votes to accomplish any one thing over and over again, then we're going to get through 8 hours without accomplishing anything. So let's just do it the easy way, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael?
Call to question.
Question's been called. Is there objection to calling the question? Question is called. Okay, I'll just explain the vote one more time. I think we're going to have to do a standing up vote because I have a feeling the voice votes aren't going to work very well today. Just my hunch. So I will ask you to stand up if you would sustain the ruling of the chair that says the amendment is in order. The amendment is that we exclude non-Pennsylvania residents. The chair says that's in order. That ruling has been appealed. So please rise if you would sustain the chair. And we'll ask the tellers, Sam, Luke, and Adam to count.
I would rather shoot myself, but okay.
I know, but yeah. Hey, John pays the same either way, huh?
Mr. Chair, point of order. Can we try to speed things up just by having the other side stand up and we could skip the trouble of counting? Nobody called for a division, so let's just do the...
19.
Just... We do a... Mr. Chair, I move for a voice vote. I don't care.
Wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
Wasting time.
Mr. Chair, I rise to a point of personal privilege. Mr. Krawchuk has interrupted a vote. He has interrupted speakers. He has interrupted many people. And I'm going to ask as a matter of personal.
Ladies and gentlemen, would the body please be silent while someone has the floor? Mr. Sarwark, I believe, is speaking. I would also ask you to not speak at the microphone until you have been recognized. Thank you very much.
As I was saying, Mr. Chair, as a point of personal privilege of the body, it is necessary for us to do business that we not be interrupted in doing the business. I would ask the chair to instruct the gentleman who continues to interrupt to cease such things, and if not, to appoint a sergeant at arms to have him removed from the convention.
Thank you, Mr. Sarwark. We're in the middle of a vote. We're in the middle of a vote. Those, please stand up if you vote no. That is to overrule the decision of the chair.
Kill switch engage! Yeah!
The chair is not going to make the tellers go around and you're welcome, Mr. Ensor. The nays have it. The chair is overruled. The amendment is declared out of order, and therefore, we go back to the main motion where we were an hour ago. And that is to approve the credentials report.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah,
I make a motion to approve the credential report.
Thank you. There's already a motion. It's been made and seconded. There are 297 so-called seasoned delegates and 34 new ones who are less than 180 days. That's the credentials report. Is there any debate on the credentials committee report?
No, I just wanted to make a quick comment, Mr. Chair, if it's possible.
Is it debate on the credentials committee report?
Not particularly.
Okay, let's vote on this. if there's no further debate, those who are in favor of the Credentials Committee report, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Now, you see, we can get along with each other. It's not that hard. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted.
You got it.
Maybe I shouldn't say anything.
Okay. Now, this would be the point at which, if someone were so inclined, he or she would move to waive the 180-day rule.
Mr. Chair.
I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying if you want to, this is the time.
Mr. Chair, I request to make a motion in accordance with Article 9, Section 2 of our bylaws to waive the 180-day rule for those 34 members that are under the 180 days. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Seconded, sir.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we waive the 180-day rule and allow these 34 new members to vote as delegates at the convention. Okay. Is there any discussion on waiving the 180-day rule? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. A yes vote is to say these 34 people can be voting delegates. And now, the only ones who can vote for right now are the green card holders. Okay? If you don't have a green card, we're going to call immigration. Okay? Those who would waive the 180-day rule and allow these other people, the yellow card holders, to participate as delegates, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. And so now, going forward, the delegates are the green cards and the yellow cards. So we welcome our new members. We're glad to have you here, and we hope this experience doesn't send you away screaming. Now,
Mr. Chair.
Dr. Moulton.
Point of order. In the same manner as it would have been better to do it the easy way, the way you suggested, I also suggest do it the easy way, the way Mr. Krawczyk suggested, that we could, in future votes, rise for the yeas, rise for the nays before we bother counting the yeas. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept something for our agenda that was titled Agenda B that was submitted to the Secretary. Is there a way to bring this alternate agenda onto the screen? Because I would like to adopt that agenda.
Second. Substitute. What?
So I moved to substitute the current agenda with the agenda that was sent to the Secretary.
Well, nobody has moved the current agenda. Has it been up on the screen? Okay. So, is there a motion to adopt Agenda A, which is the one that's been up on the screen?
I move to adopt Agenda A.
So moved. Is there a second? Second. Now, we now have this agenda
Who motioned?
that's before us. Sven.
That was the initial agenda. So yours should have you.
Now,
Right. That's, he said, the one on the screen.
Mark is saying he has an amendment to substitute a different agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a copy of it?
Secretary, is there a way to?
I forwarded it to Sam.
Thank you, Bonnie, for forwarding it. Ed, I'm going to be forwarding it on to you as well now. Before we do this, I would like to confirm that I have the right document. Madam Secretary, this is 60 pages long. Is that correct?
Let me look.
I know the feeling.
60 pages long.
Mr. Chair. Now it works. Mr. Chair.
Sam, it's titled Substitute Agenda and Substitute Motion.
Could you come up here, please, Madam Secretary? That's not what I have.
Mr. Chair.
Agenda Proposal B is now up on the screen. If, Mark, would you like to talk us through this, since it's your proposal, and in particular highlight any differences between A and B? Mark, you're up. The whole world is waiting.
So this agenda here has been workshopped between like 40 or 50 different people. We've been workshopping this for a few weeks, but I think I'd rather defer to Mike to speak to everything on the agenda. If you want to go line by line, so I'm going to defer to Michael Heiss to go over the agenda.
Mr. Chair. So the proposed agenda, originally Agenda A, we'll call it, that has bylaws first. There is 29 bylaws proposals. The likelihood of us getting through 29 bylaws proposals to then get to our statewide candidates and then get to our officers is not likely to happen. If we don't get to officers, my understanding is the officers would be vacant. Nobody wants that. So I think this is a order of agenda that the body would like.
Okay. Is there any other
Yes, I have a
discussion?
Omar Crow. I have a point of privilege because it's not necessarily mandated by the bylaws, but we have a lot of people in this room, and a lot of people keep coming up to the microphone, and I think it would be helpful to the secretary and for official minutes, really just the record keeping in general, just to announce who you are and maybe what county you're from before making any motion or anything like that.
Great idea. I should have thought of that. Yes, please.
I call the question.
Second.
What did he just say? What is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm a real libertarian. Preston Smith, Westmoreland County. I call the question.
Objection. Only Joel Getz is a real libertarian.
All right.
Point of information, Mr. Chair. If we're
Yes.
going to be voting on agendas, could we see the whole agenda? We haven't
I
seen,
think that
we
point
haven't
is
seen
well
the whole
taken.
agenda for either
Let's-
agenda.
Let's defer calling the question until. No, there's nothing on the floor. People don't have copies of this. They can't see what it says. Let's scroll down so everybody can look at the agenda. All right. How do we get this scrolled?
Ed Ploy, would you please go ahead and scroll the convention minute or agenda?
Do people ever get to see the entirety of Plan A?
I don't believe so. Because we haven't gotten this.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Yes.
There was a prior motion, Bridget Rhinesmith, Westmoreland County. There was a prior motion for a substitute agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the motion that was called?
Yes, what you see on the screen now in bits and pieces is the substitute motion, the Plan B that Mark proposed. And I know somebody wanted to call a question on that. I'm not rushing to cut off debate since
Can we see the other agenda?
I don't think most people are clear on what the differences are. If somebody wanted to explain it, I'd give them a little bit of latitude. Otherwise, we'll move to the vote.
Yeah, point of information, I don't think we have seen Agenda A either.
No, I mean, that's part of the problem here. Let me try to characterize it and somebody tell me if this is unfair. Plan A puts bylaws before officer elections because some of the proposed bylaws changes affect the structure of the board. They affect how many officers there are and what they are. And if those were adopted, then we would have different officers. Okay? Plan B has the officer elections before the bylaws changes. So if some of the bylaws changes passed, then it would could nullify some of the officer elections. So.
Point of inquiry.
Mr. Sloan, Ed Ploy in the tech booth, point of privilege. I can present any agenda that you like on the screen and I can scroll. I ask that one person be the person who directs my activity so that we know that the entire body has been able to read the agenda. Shall we do that?
Let's start with Agenda A, the one that was first proposed. Let's scroll through that. And if, Sam, do you want to talk us through it briefly?
Sure.
As it scrolls on the screen.
Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Yes, convention agenda. We've already passed the credentialing report and we're into the quagmire of the agenda as usual. If you could go ahead and scroll down there, Mr. Ploy. We had a request to add a dedication motion by Svendla Rose. First item of business was the convention delegate, various convention delegate bylaws. The idea there was that that is an issue that is hot and that we would like to address first. The following bylaws were the ones that affect the board structure and therefore could affect who we are voting for in officer elections. That was intended to be conducted.
Who interrupts the speaker?
Not me. Not me.
Why, Matt? There was no vote on calling it. You can't cut off debate just by hollering out the word question. The question has not been called. I'm sorry, Matt. We're going to explain this to people before we ask them to vote on it. Okay? Go ahead, Sam.
Anyways, the proposed Agenda A, which is Agenda A now, basically says let's take care of the bylaws that affect the board structure and affect the delegate selection because those are hot issues that need to be resolved. Then let's go ahead and have our statewide candidate elections, since that's primarily the reason we're here. And then tomorrow, either pick up with whatever bylaws are left over and have our officer and delegate elections. So that was Agenda A. Agenda B, as proposed, has the chair election immediately, then various vice chair, secretary, other officer elections, and judicial committee, then moves into candidate nominations. Basically lets those candidate nominations roll over into the next day, and then bylaws proposal. Then we do bylaws proposals. The bylaws proposals, as far as I can tell, are not structured in any particular way, but they do seem. I do approve of the fact that they do seem to put Mr. Gallick's delegate bylaws changes in priority. Which, if you notice, on the Plan A agenda was intended to be the first item as well. So,
Can we, Matt, point of personal inquiry, can we scroll down? Because it just says bylaws. Christine from York, by the way, Bonnie. It just says bylaw proposals, 30 minutes each. Is that to do all of the ones? Because everything else is dictated as specifics, and this is not. So there is more stuff. Okay.
If I may, the agenda B, if you remember, I asked Madam Secretary if I had the right agenda because it was 60 pages. It lists the text of the individual bylaws proposals. So
Okay,
I
thank
presume
you.
that those are intended to go in order.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Michael, do you have any rebuttal to what Sam said?
I'm going to call the question again.
Okay, all right.
Point of information?
Are you ready for the question?
No.
Okay. All right. Here's the question. Shall the Bazaco Plan B be substituted as an amendment to Plan A? So basically, a yes vote is for Plan B. A no vote is in effect for Plan A.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Omar Crow.
Yes?
When the question is called, the first question is, shall debate be ended? So we're supposed to be voting on whether to end debate.
By unanimous consent, we're ending debate. I heard no objection.
I objected. I object to ending
All
debate.
right. Those in favor of calling the question signify by saying aye. Aye. Can you beat that? Those opposed?
Nay.
I didn't think so. All right. The question she is called. Now, a yes vote is for Plan B as a substitute. A no vote is against substituting Plan B. Capiche? Okay, here we go. Let's try standing, and we're gonna ask the tellers to point, and we're gonna ask you to count off your number. Mr. Sarwark's suggestion, he's been through the wars and he thinks this will be a little faster. Those voting yes on Plan B, please stand up. Okay. Is this more than you can count, Luke? Luke doesn't have enough fingers. Okay, be seated a moment. Let's. All right, I'm all in favor of the easy way.
Mr. Chair.
Those against Plan B, just out of curiosity, stand up. Those who would vote no. All right. Okay.
I call for division of the assembly.
We just had one, and it was everybody against Greg, so we're done. Okay, all right. I think it's the clear sentiment that we go with Plan B. So that will be our agenda going forward. Sam, can you put Plan B here, Plan B where I can see it? I don't know what we're doing. We've done most of the pre-lunch things that are listed here except porcupine voting system vote. Somebody want to explain that?
Mr. Chair, I would like to abuse my privilege of being up here in order to motion that we modify the agenda in between adoption of the agenda and the porcupine voting system vote. Mr. Sven LaRose asked that we consider a motion, and I would ask him to come up at this moment and present his motion.
Okay, let me interrupt myself if I may. I neglected to call for a vote on the main motion. Those in favor of actually adopting the agenda, which is now Plan B, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Well, we are libertarians, aren't we?
Point of information.
Okay, the
Point of
agenda is
information,
adopted, Plan B.
Mr.
Sven?
Chair, Henry Haller from Allegheny County.
Yes, Henry.
I would like to know, I never saw it on the agenda we adopted. Where are we looking at the platform changes?
Probably tomorrow.
Well, could I have a specific time, please?
2027.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be after the 8-hour board meeting, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, well, if it's 30 minutes.
Mr. Chair.
We'll never get through.
Hang on one second, Matt. We got to.
Mr. Haller, the platform proposals actually come at the end of the agenda. So I would imagine that they would happen roughly 16:55 tomorrow.
Okay, you gonna fix it?
Yeah, based on experience, that's a very good guess. Okay, Mr. Shutter, did you have a point?
I move to adopt Mr. LaRose's motion.
Okay. He's not here. Is there any objection to his motion?
What is the motion?
Can you restate his motion, Matt?
Yes, to honor this convention in the name of the Canada truckers.
Point of order.
Second.
Okay. Is there any objection to the motion? Okay. Discussion? Is there a second?
There was multiple people that objected. So one of them.
Okay, there was a second. Is there discussion?
Oh, no.
Discussion?
Sure.
Hearing none.
I'll discuss.
Michael, did you want
It just took me a minute to walk down
Okay.
the microphone. I would be against this. My name's Thomas. I'm from Allegheny County. I would be against this just simply because we don't need to be entangled in anything foreign. It's Canada's problem. I support them. I'm glad they're doing it, whatever, but let Canada take care of Canada. We got a lot of stuff in Pennsylvania to take care of, and it takes us a good long time to do anything. Let's not waste time on this.
All right, one speaker in favor.
John Robinson, Chair of Wayne and Pike County.
Right.
I would suggest instead of the trucker convoy, which has fallen awfully silent since Russia went to war, we instead dedicate this to the people of Ukraine.
Is there a second? Okay, the amended motion is the convention be dedicated to the people of Ukraine. And there's a second. Is there discussion? Let's
Yes.
keep it brief here.
Yes.
Is there opposition to the amendment?
Yes.
Yes.
There is. Does anybody feel compelled to speak against it?
Yes.
Sure, I'll say what I just said about the Canada thing. Ditto.
All right.
All right.
Is it one speaker in favor of the Ukraine amendment?
All right. My name's Willie Harmon. I am from Dauphin County. I am a CDL licensed driver. I also have taught at Harrisburg Area Community College. I was a former, for those in the transportation industry would know, Smith Systems instructor as well. With those accolades, I applaud what Canadian truck drivers have done, but I'm going to speak and say no. Not here in Pennsylvania. We shouldn't do anything with that. One of the biggest problems that a lot of libertarians have said is we need to keep our nose out of foreign affairs. guys, we can support them financially, in spirit, in words, online, not as officials. Otherwise, we're putting our nose in there and we're no better than those other two parties that we always complain about.
All right. Is there any other necessary debate?
Yeah, I'd just like briefly.
Yeah.
I'm Ilya Schwartzberg from Philly. I'm a Russian-Ukrainian Jew who came here as a refugee, and I implore you guys to adopt neither of these dedications.
Thank you.
Point of order.
Michael?
Point of order. This entire discussion is new business. This isn't an agenda item. And these chairs have already ignored multiple calls to questions, multiple objections. They threatened to remove Karen Ann Harlos when they didn't have the authority to. So I motion to suspend the rules to declare the chair vacant and nominate Toastmaster Ken Krawchuk to chair this convention for the duration.
I second that motion. I second that motion.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
I second that motion.
Mr. Chair, I believe that motion is out of order. We're discussing a motion on the floor right now. I don't think that motion is germane to anything. The motion to suspend the rules is out of order at the time.
The motion to suspend the rules.
We are discussing a motion.
All right. Parliamentarian's going to look this up. Let's vote on the motion in the meantime. The motion is to substitute Ukraine for the Canadian.
Mr. Chair.
All right.
Pardon me, if I could remind the chair, the motion was to amend the agenda to add Mr. Sven's statement.
Proposal was to modify the agenda. That can be done by a 2/3 vote. Sven made that motion. There was a proposed substitute to say Ukraine instead of the Canadian truckers, and that's what we're debating. There's no basis to rule that out of order, and I think we need to vote on it while the parliamentarian's looking things up. Those in favor of substituting Ukraine for the Canadian truckers will say aye. Those opposed? All right, the amendment fails. Those in favor of dedicating the convention to the Canadian truckers will say aye. Those opposed? The motion to amend the agenda fails. Okay, now, are we in order here for Michael's motion? All right. The motion has been made to remove the chair and substitute Ken Krawchuk as the new chair. Okay, first is a removal. It's two different votes. First is a removal of myself, and then second is the election of a chair. So I'm going to turn the chair over to the other vice chair. Take it away, Sam.
Mr. Sloan, I love you dearly, but I will never forgive this. Okay, so I believe the current motion on the floor would be for the removal of the chair. This would be to remove Mr. William Sloan as the chair of the convention. I'm going to go ahead and ask for a rising vote, please. If yes, ma'am. Yes, hold on, please. If you would allow me this one privilege.
Certainly.
Yes, Miss Harlos.
I think what I'm going to say is actually will be easier, I hope. The correct motion is by a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules to both in one motion to remove, I believe it was Mr. Robb, I'm sorry if I have the name wrong, and appoint as chair pro tem Mr. Krawcheck. It would be
That would be
done.
Mr. Sloan and
Yeah, it
Mr.
would be done
Krawcheck,
in
yes.
one motion with a 2/3 vote. I believe that is the correct procedure, Mr. Acting Chair.
Mr. Heiss, could I ask you a personal favor? Would you please sit? You are not in line to speak, and it is very distracting having you right there. It's hard to tell who is ready to speak. Mr. Michael Heiss, would you please sit?
He asking you to sit.
That would be, I believe that would be you, yes.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Sorry, let's see. I'm going to recognize Kareem, yes? Would you
Thank
please
you.
state your name and so on and so forth?
Sure. I'm Kareem from Westmoreland County. A lot of you know me. Two things. One, it's kind of dilatory to dedicate this to anything other than the people who showed up here, because we're the person here. Plus, I would say to actually get this on track, yes, Ken Krawcheck should be put temporarily there so we can actually get down to business and get to things that matter.
Excuse me, Mr. Acting Chair, we're in the middle of a point of order, I believe. I was waiting for a ruling.
Would you please repeat what you said earlier, Ms. Harless?
I believe the procedure was incorrect, that the procedure would be one vote with a 2/3 threshold that would both remove Mr. Robb as convention chair and appoint Mr. I'm terrible with names as chair pro tem. I'm Mrs. Terrible with names.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Heiss, if I could ask you again, please sit. Thank you. Mr. Heiss, you are not at the microphone and you have not been recognized. Please be quiet. The question has been called, and the actual question, I believe, was whether or not we were able to do that. Is that your question, Ms. Harless?
No, my point of order is the vote method for actually doing that. You are
Yes, ma'am.
able to do that under Roberts, but I believe the correct method is 1/2 vote to remove the person who is now acting as chair and put in Mr. Ken as chair pro tem for the
Yes.
remainder of the
That
convention.
that is well taken, and after consulting with the parliamentarian, that is the procedure that we can go by. We have a
I
point
had
of
a
parliamentary inquiry from Mr. Sarwark. Or
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
Sorry, Mr. Fiddler.
Can it be done as one vote? Because it would be two different actions. And because of that, in theory, somebody could want to go against Ken. And by God, I hope somebody goes against Ken to unseat Mr. Sloan. And really, anybody, please, somebody go against Ken. But I just want to make sure, is that correct?
It was stated as a suspension of rules, which, when it's put that way, it can be in one motion to also designate the pro tem chair. It can be one when it's done.
My understanding is it requires the suspension of the rules in order to allow it to be two actions to be in the motion. So we would be voting on suspending the rules to allow this particular motion. Is that correct? Is that correct, Mr.?
Suspending the rules of who's chairing, basically.
Yes. So, that's your answer. Mr. Sarwark, point of parliamentary inquiry.
While it may be in order to suspend the rules to take up both votes as a single vote, it is correct, I believe, and this is the parliamentary inquiry, that any member of the assembly can move to divide, and then it has to be taken back in two votes. Because they are two separate things, and it is only by the sufferance of the entire body, everybody, that we take them up together, and that any member can move to divide. I'm asking the parliamentarian.
While the parliamentarian is doing his business, we will go ahead for recognize. I'm sorry, sir. Please state your name and.
Willie Harmon again from Dauphin County. I stood here to be recognized for one particular purpose. The gentleman who made the motion simply came up to the mic, spoke on it, grabbed the attention of the chair, and introduced his motion. I do recall, and if the secretary would like to look back in any of her notes, maybe she can confirm that at one point we did say that when you got to the mic to be recognized, by the speaker, by the chair before making your introduction. And if that's so, this motion that he has introduced that we're discussing would actually be null and void because the chair had never recognized him before he started speaking on it.
While that is a good point, I will point out that all that is going to do is delay the motion at this point.
I'm sorry, could you say again?
While I believe that you make a good point, Willie, at this juncture, all that's going to do is delay this motion by a few minutes. We really, at this point, I just want to see us get through it. So, and looking over to the other microphone, Dr. Chuck Moulton, did you want to speak?
I don't have a point of order. When it's in order to speak on the motion, then I would speak.
And you, sir?
I'm waiting for the ruling.
Okay.
I thought there was a ruling that it was well taken.
So it appears that a motion to divide is subsidiary to the suspension of rules.
Can we give him a mic so we can hear him?
All right. It appears that the motion to divide, which is subsidiary to the motion to suspend the rules and appoint pro temp chair, is not debatable, but is allowable and requires majority vote. And if the prior motion to suspension and appoint is considered as a practical matter divisible, and I think it is, then that's the process. So the next vote would be whether to be in favor or against dividing the motion. And if the majority says it'll be divided, it's divided. If not, then it's not. And then comes the vote on the suspension of rules, which requires 2/3. First one's a simple majority, correct, just to whether to divide it or not.
That's what I was going to do, but it sounds like I might not need to.
Well, I think he's assuming it's the motion to divide.
So I believe at this point we have a motion to divide.
Pardon me, I'm sorry. Who made that motion? Thank you.
So we have a motion to divide the question. That is a simple majority. A vote yes will result in us dividing the question and taking this up as two separate matters, the removal of the chair and the appointment of a new chair. And a vote no will be to not divide the question and to suspend the bylaws and consider this as one motion to remove and replace.
Seconded.
Okay. We have a point of information.
Yeah, was this a motion for division or a demand for division? Because my understanding was that a demand for division would be in order since this is two separate issues.
It won't matter. It's already passed as a motion.
Yeah.
Vote, or we can demand it and vote it. It's still
I believe it's proper in the form of a motion.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I believe it's proper in the form it was stated.
Okay. Thanks.
Is there anybody else who wishes to speak? Any other points you wish to bring up? Well, I know, but we had people asking with points of order, so I want to make sure there was
I move to
nothing
call the
remaining.
question on the division.
the division is the
Okay, we're going to go ahead and vote. This is going to be a standing vote. At this point, I'm going to, Mr. Bill Sloan, would you be willing to act as teller since I am otherwise occupied?
I think it ought to be somebody else besides me, even
That's a good point.
parliamentarian.
Mr. Greg Perry, would you be willing to act as a teller in this matter? Thank you, sir.
I have a point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Harlows.
I could be incorrect, but it's my understanding that a counting vote, it doesn't happen unless a standing vote is unclear.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that? My hearing is not what it should be.
Neither is mine. It's my understanding that and I'm asking if this is correct, that a counted vote is not necessary unless a standing vote is unclear.
I'll be very honest with you, Ms. Harlows. I am, at this point, going to have to defer to our parliamentarian, who I believe will probably concur with you.
I believe a counted vote requires a motion from the body or the chair to say, I'm unclear. We got to count this thing.
Yeah, we do need a 2/3 vote. So let's go ahead. Hey. Fantastic. We got your attention. So we're going to go ahead and do this vote. Screw this. I am tired of sitting here. I'm a walker. I'm a talker. Okay, we're going to do this vote. This vote is on division of the question. If you are in favor of dividing the question and doing separate actions to remove Mr. Bill Sloan as the chair and to replace him as the chair, please rise if you are in favor of that. Very good. Thank you very much. And let's go ahead and say, people who are opposed to dividing the question, please stand. It is a little hard to see out there. Mike, could you stand up a little higher, please? Thank you. Okay, so it looks like we are not dividing the question. However, I will ask the body if you would like to deal with one other order of business before we get to this. And I know someone's probably going to object. You can't do this, Robert's rules, blah, blah, blah. We're talking suspension of rules here anyways. So we have poor Mr. Reinhardt, who's been sitting up here for the last 2 hours waiting for us to accept his resignation as Eastern Vice Chair.
Motion to accept the resignation.
Mr. Wagner, if you keep talking over me, I will throw you out.
I motion that you all accept my resignation.
All in favor, please rise.
I second. Thank you all, and to our elected officials, you all deserve better than whatever the hell is happening here.
Thank you all for allowing me to let Mr. Reinhardt stand down. Okay, so the question that remains is, this is the question: are we going to suspend the bylaws? No, rules. Suspend the rules. Sorry, Ms. Harlows. Yes, you're bad with names. I'm bad with proper nouns all over the place. Are we going to suspend the rules to remove Mr. Bill Sloan as convention chair and replace him with Mr. Ken Krawchuk as convention chair, who I understand is very proud of being a Toastmaster, so hopefully he'll be able to do a decent job. That's true. That will make it very hard for him to interrupt the meeting. So there is an upside. On the other hand, you will have to listen to him speak, so that is a downside. So now, just to be sure, are we voting on suspending the rules and then making a vote, or is this a combined?
It's combined.
Parliamentary inquiry?
Yeah, it's combined. That's because that's how it's.
Fantastic. I think we have one
Is it
comment.
debatable?
I'm sorry?
The parliamentary inquiry is this motion to suspend the rules because it has the effect of taking an action, is it debatable in the way that the normal suspension of the rules would not be, but because you're actually doing the thing that would be debatable, is this debatable? That's the question.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Sarwark, and we will, of course, take a few moments to decide that. Please, everybody, talk amongst yourselves and have fun.
Objection. Call to question.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Call all questions. Stop stalling.
Mr. Heiss, If you continue, I will have you removed from the convention.
Point of order.
Yes, Ms. Harless.
With all due respect, pursuant to Roberts, no chair has any authority to say any member shall be removed from the hall. That is a privilege of the assembly.
Ms. Harless, it's very apparent that Roberts is going out the window right now, so really, I don't care.
Point of order. You're out of order. Come on, man. That's not very libertarian.
Can't tell if it's debatable. All else being equal, it would be debatable, I think. I think the presumption is debatable, but I don't see where it says one way or the other.
After consulting with the parliamentarian, the motion is debatable, so we are open to hearing debate on this subject.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr. Van Wagner.
Joseph Van Wagner, Montgomery County. Call the question.
Second.
Okay. Okay, we have a request for a point of personal privilege for Ms. Sally Coombs to make an announcement.
I just wanted to let everybody know that lunch starts in a half an hour.
Thank you, Sally. Something that we can all be happy about. Okay, the question has been called. Is there any objection to calling the question?
I object.
We have an objection to calling the question. Would you all in favor of calling the question, please rise? Fantastic. Please sit. Sorry, please sit. Otherwise, we'll get the count wrong. All opposed to calling the question, please rise. Greg pointed out that he's not calling, he's counting. Okay, so the question is called. So we are going to move on to the motion to suspend the rules, remove Mr. Sloan, appoint Mr. Krawchuk as chair.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
Sorry. Yes, sir. Point of parliamentary inquiry.
So the appointment of Mr. Sloan, Dr. Sloan, is due to the chair. I can stand here and wait till you stop interrupting me like little children. I'm trying to get there, but there are children interrupting me.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please allow the member to speak, things will go much more quickly. Just let him speak. Thank you.
I mean, just a reminder, PCN is streaming, so everyone's watching us. This is John Waldenberger from Montgomery County. I am inquiring, the appointment of Mr. Sloan, Dr. Sloan, is the result of Miss Jennifer Moore not being here. If her presence were to return, would that throw this amendment out of order? That's a parliamentary inquiry.
My understanding is the only way that this could possibly cause problems with the amendment would be if Chairwoman Moore were to walk through the doors and I were to hand her the gavel and she would take up as chair. At that point, it would be moot removing Mr. Sloan, and you would need to make a new motion to accomplish the same thing. So,
Mr. Chair.
Let's see. Who did we have? Someone over this way?
Oh, you want to know me?
Oh, this way, Mr.
Joseph Van Wagner, Montgomery
Mr. Van Wagner, you've already spoken. Please take a seat. Mr. Ice, you have been disruptive. Please take a seat.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Mankiewicz,
Mankiewicz.
Chair of Schuylkill County.
Yes, sir.
The question has been called. Stop stalling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Stop stalling. Call the question.
Mr. Mankiewicz, you've called.
Cabbage, get it right.
Mr. Cabbagehead.
Man Cabbage, out of quorum. Stop stalling. Vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been trying Ladies and
Question has been
gentlemen,
called.
please take your seat. We will not do anything until you take your seat, Mr. Mankiewicz.
I am not moving.
Then we are
All
not
those in
going to
favor,
do any
please
business,
rise.
Mr. Mankiewicz.
Stand up. Question's been called. You've lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to get through this as properly as
You
I
have
can.
stalled. This is the vote.
Right now,
The ayes have it.
please sit. Please sit, folks. Right now, all I am trying to do is make sure, with the advice of Ms. Harless and the parliamentarian, that I am not screwing anything up. I am not trying to delay. I am trying to recognize the members who have stood up and demanded to be heard. And I understand that there are a lot of you who would like to vote. So please, would you allow us to get through this so that we can vote? Is there anybody else who has a point of order or anything that they want to bring up?
Raise your hand. I'll give the mics back. Raise your hand.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ploy. Would you care to speak, Mr. Ploy? Go ahead.
I'm not touching you. You are touching me.
You ain't gonna fucking touch nobody. You ain't gonna fucking touch nobody. You ain't gonna fucking touch nobody.
Folks, listen.
Mr. Delvis, could you please come to the stage?
Are
Could
you
we have
guys are-
security to the stage, please?
Or you guys are screaming Robert's rules and things like that. The chair,
Mr. Chair,
the chair has the floor.
Relinquish the microphone.
The chair has the floor until he recognizes you. It's real simple. All of you guys that are ignoring that, I'm not even recognized. I'm out of order. And the chair is asking me to give up the mic, and I'm doing it. This mic goes there. Where am I going?
Mr. Chair, point of
Then he
privilege.
can file charges if he wants to.
Mr. Chair, point of privilege.
Let's see, who is Mr. Ploy? Yes.
Ed Ploy rises on behalf of the body and of the venue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit down.
Mr. Chair.
I am on my last nerve right here. We have security down here, which should not happen among groups of libertarians. I am trying to do my job. People keep jumping up and interrupting.
Mr. Chair.
Please
Mr. Chair.
sit so that we can get through this.
Mr. Chair, I may be able to assist you. This is Ed Ploy again. Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Ploy.
May I adjust the body?
Please do, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will clear the aisles immediately, or this meeting will be brought to a close for the lunch session. The venue requires that the aisles be cleared. Also, the next person who grabs a microphone from a stand will be removed, not by the dais, but by the venue. Am I clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I have some further remarks, if I may.
Gentlemen, please clear the aisles. Please take your
Aisles
seats.
will be
Please
cleared at
relinquish the
this
microphone.
time in your seats. Everybody in your seats. This meeting will not continue until everybody, save me, is in their seats. Do we understand? Everybody. No, I don't hate anybody. That's fine. Please be seated. Please be seated. Please be seated. We're restoring order. We'll make you first.
While you are taking your seats, I'm going to point out one of the problems that we have with libertarian assemblies. The objections to someone speaking take longer than the person actually speaking. Okay? That was why I was simply letting people say what they had to say, because it was their right. so that we could get on with things.
Thank you, Mr.
So now
Albright.
we have the question. The question is whether we are going to suspend the rules. Again, repeating, because there was a little bit of chaos. The question is whether we're going to suspend the rules, remove Mr. Sloan as chair, and install Mr. Ken Krawchuk as chair. If you are in favor of this, please rise. Please sit. If you are opposed to this, please rise. However, a question has been raised, Mr. Krawchuk. You are currently a member of the Judicial Committee and are not permitted to be I believe, a member of the board? That is a member of the board. I do not believe that that would preclude him from being chair of the convention, but I would like the confirmation on that.
Ken, resign.
No, you're right.
Ken.
Point of personal privilege. We got to get things moving. I hereby resign from the Judicial Committee. Bring me a heck up there. Come on. Thank you. I feel like John Galt at the end of Atlas Shrugged when they got him imprisoned in the Wayne Falkland Hotel, and he just says, "Get the hell out of the way."
Just take it. Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay, at this point, Ken, Mr. Krawchuk, I just want to make sure, do you intend to resign from the judicial, would you like to do that, or?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody object to Mr. Krawchuk resigning from the Judicial Committee?
Mr. Vice Chair, please,
Okay.
let's get things moving.
Here we go. Mr. Krawchuk, welcome to please come up. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Krawchuk, who will be chairing the convention. And with that, I would like to, as Mr. Krawchuk said, I don't need your permission. I'm resigning as Western Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, point of privilege. Mr. Chair, point of privilege.
Hang on, let me get my shoes off, huh?
That's actually my point of privilege, Mr. Chair. Would you like to have a 5-minute break while you confer with your DICE committee?
No.
Mr. Chair,
No.
employ with the venue.
No, I thank you for the suggestion, but I will pass, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Because I think it's time that we got the convention that we really need, as Aaron said.
Mr. Chair.
Let me set down a few ground rules. Oh. We have an announcement. Sally, please make the announcement.
There's 15 minutes until lunch, and Mr. Rittner has been moved to the Genetti for today.
There you go. All right. Now, if it's only 15 minutes to lunch, we're not going to get a lot done. So what I would like to do is lay down some ground rules. Number one, can you read my shirt? It says less government, more fun. That applies not just to the state and the federal government, but also to conventions. So the first thing I want to do is more fun. I want to streamline this. I mean, there's no question. There was a lot of stalling that just went on. I don't want any more stalling. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reaching out to you people. I'm going to throw lifelines to the audience a lot. And I'm just going to say, what do you think? Everybody goes, yes or no, just to speed things up a bit. So be ready for that. For those of you who are new to parliamentary procedure, Let me give you a very quick overview. It's a handful. 5 steps. For anything to happen, move, second, discussion, call the question, and vote. Those 5 things. Move, second, discuss, call the question, vote. If nobody moves, nothing happens. And it has to be done positively. Second thing is
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Sorry?
Mr. Chair, I move to suspend the rules and amend the bylaws so that the LPPA become a subsidiary of the Mises PAC, that all officers and board of directors be removed, and that Michael Heiss be the sole decision maker of all party affairs. Second. For the sake of efficiency. Second.
Allow me to finish. Okay, nothing happens unless it's moved and seconded.
Second.
Then comes the discussion, and then finally, the vote. All right, and for those of you who don't know me, I realize there's a lot of people here who do not know me. Let me give you a very brief overview of myself, just very quickly. I've been a Libertarian since 1993. Now, orders of the day, another 10 minutes.
Orders of the day, please.
Lunch.
It'll be orders of the day. I'm still getting my shoes on, man. All right, all those who think that I should introduce myself, say aye.
Orders of the day, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Point of order.
The body's already ruled. Oh, those against, I'm sorry. Any nays? Thank you. All right, so I've been a Libertarian since 1993. I was our candidate for governor in 98, 2002, and 2018. And in all 3 elections, I set party records successively. Also the past chair of the Libertarian Party, 2 terms. I presided over 2 conventions. This will be my 3rd. I am a professional parliamentarian. I've been the Toastmasters District 38 parliamentarian for 4 terms. And I am the host of Pennsylvania Project talk radio show on WWDB in Philadelphia, 860 AM. And I'm a Toastmaster. Now, I'll pause there. And anybody have any advice, suggestions, anything like that? Because this is not about me, this is about us.
Mr. Chair, point of personal privilege.
Tell you what, first rule I'm gonna put in place is if you're on the podium side, say podium mic, and if you're not, say on the not podium mic, so I know where to look, because I can't see. All right, who's speaking?
I don't have a personal privilege. I'll let this gentleman speak first.
So my name is Will McVeigh. I'm the state chair of the ballot qualified.
Yo. Hey, wait a minute. Do you know what? Let me pause you a second there. I'm going to appoint a sergeant at arms. Where's Willie Harmon? Willie, stand up. Willie is my sergeant at arms. If Willie tells you something, oh, what? Does the body vote on that? I don't know. It doesn't. All right, we'll move on. Willie, just keep this in order. And people, Sam said it, let's be nice. I'm the only member of the Party Harmony Caucus. I'm not a Mises guy or anything like that. I'm the only member, so let's be nice. Let's listen to each other. Let's move on. All right, let's start. And you're who from where?
Will McVeigh, LPPA member, state chair of the ballot qualified LP of Delaware, founder of the Libertarian Defense Fund, member of the Cathedral Caucus, and I move that Libertarians adjourn out front.
Seconded.
I didn't hear what you said.
The motion was for Libertarians to adjourn out front.
What? The room would be pretty much empty then. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, there's a motion on the floor that all Libertarians go out front, and without objection, I'm going to go right to a vote. All those in favor of all Libertarians going outside, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Now, come on, guys. I'm going to start calling this stuff dilatory. You're just slowing us down.
Point of information.
Sure thing.
John Robinson, chair of the Libertarian Party of Wayne Pike County. I hereby resign from the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania as we become the party of fuckery.
Mr. Chair.
How does this help?
Mr. Chair.
Hang on a second. How does this help defeat the 2 old parties? I'm going to quote Dick Bonney from the 1996 National Convention. The enemy is not in this room. The enemy's out there.
Mr.
We got
Chair.
more stuff like that is only slowing us down.
Mr. Chair.
Knock it off. Yes, sir.
Over here.
Oh, yes.
Mark Pizzacco, Montgomery County. I move that we take a recess till, I think it's 1:30 that lunch ends.
Is it? Oh. When's lunch end? Scroll up, please. Scroll up, please. 1:30. All right.
I move that we recess to 1:30. If you want to continue introducing yourself while we're going to recess, that's fine.
That's fine. Is there a second? Any objection? Oh, you objecting? Great. All right. All right, without objection, we will recess until 1:30. And I need a gavel. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for the confidence you've placed in me. I hope I can live up to it. Wish me luck.
Welcome to PMA Perspective, your weekly half-hour news program on Pennsylvania business, government, and politics. I'm your host, David Tingler, president of the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association.
All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off, and I guess the first thing we need is...
Hi guys, this is, my name's Joy, I'm with the membership committee. First, just like a quick little announcement. Tomorrow, we are asking that you guys all check in again. We're going to refresh the numbers of delegates on the floor tomorrow morning, so you will need to check in before you come in. If you have your badge, you don't need to like sign or anything. We're just going to be marking you off, but we need to have an accurate head count for tomorrow, so that's just a note. During lunch, we did open credentialing again for any people who were straggling behind. And I would like to put forth a motion to amend the credentialing report to add 6 old members, so over the 180-day mark. I know that that doesn't apply right now, but as it's reported, I want to make sure that they're in the same increments. So 6 that were seasoned and 2 non-seasoned members.
So what's the new total? So that's 6 in addition to the 297 we had before?
Correct. So 303 seasoned members.
Yep.
And then 2 in addition to the 34, which comes to a total of 36.
36, so it's 339 total.
Yep.
That makes a majority, what, 170? Yep. And quick, what's a 2/3? 3, 2, 1, come on. 113. 113. Do you know 113 cubed is Pearl Harbor Day, 1969? Anyway, I digress. All right. Is there a second to the motion? Do we know? Any argument? All right, so ruled. I wish I,
Thank you.
Here, I got a phone. Take what I got. Thank you very much. All right. I don't know where we were, so I asked Ed to put the menu back up, the agenda. This is Agenda B, and I just want to run down to say, all right, what have we done? We've done everything down to porcupine voting system. Who is the porcupine voting system person? All right, without objection, we're going to push that down into the agenda until the porcupine person shows up or a need arises for the porcupine person. Oh, and something else. Karen Ann, would you join us here on the stage? What I've asked is, I'd asked John to stay on because I thought he did a great job this morning. And I also asked Karen Ann to come up, and it's Karen Ann, am I getting that right? Karen Ann, yeah. I asked her to come up too because this lady's got a grasp, and she was here last year too, and I was impressed by her knowledge of parliamentary procedure. And I asked the two of them if they could work with each other, and they both said yes. So, as the only member of the Party Harmony Caucus, I agree. Well done. All right, what else we got? After that comes chair's report. The chair is not here. I heard some scuttlebutt that she may arrive. And by the way, my reading of Robert's rules are that if she were presiding over this, it would have only taken a majority vote to replace her. But that's water under the bridge or under the dam. Vice Chair's report. Are there any vice chairs left? I don't know. Well, again, the same thing. We'll just keep them on the agenda, and if they show up, we'll slot them in at the next available point. All right, who's next? Treasurer. Is our treasurer here? Where you at? Let's get you up here. Where is she? All right. And if you want to come up on the stage where people can see you and grab one of these extra mics, or even sit down up here. There you go. And be sure to introduce yourself because people may not know you. And you know, I had 2 embarrassing moments at the convention earlier where I know the person, but I don't know their face, right? It's like, and I said it to Nicole last night. I says, and you are? I says, Ken, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's like,
I did not cross my arms.
all right, whatever I sit corrected.
Okay, so I did this as of March 3rd because I was here late last night getting stuff set up, and I was upstairs.
Closer.
I said I did this report as of March 3rd. Yesterday, I was here and upstairs, so I didn't update it as of last night, but it is updated as of the 3rd. In the checking account, there was $42,380.43. The endowment fund has $2,521.07. There was a strike transfer going in, and that will hit the bank probably Monday or Tuesday for $2,398.61. I forced the PayPal transfer of $64.81 for a total of $47,364.92. The income from February 19th to March 3rd was $18,529.43. The other stuff remained the same, the allotments, the committee allotments. If you need me to go over them again, I can, but they're the same. We have $7,000 still to pay for convention fees for this building here. I still do not know the total amount for the hotel. We did pay last night the bill for the paid thing yesterday. Everybody paid $20 to go in, and there was an open bar and stuff. We did pay for the bar yesterday. That was $748.05, I think it was. We do have a net revenue of negative $638.17. So between February 19th and March, well, actually, that was before that. From January until now, we have a negative balance. So we're spending $638 more each month than we are bringing in. And I have said a lot since December that we need to watch that because we're spending more than we're bringing in every month.
And that's coming out of that, what, 42K?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's not coming out of the 42K. So a net revenue is the $18,000 that we were bringing in. So, and I didn't update it as of that day, but that was the net. Since December, we've been spending $638.17 more than we actually bring into the party.
Okay, and that'd be something for the board to address, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
That's accumulative, but it's been increasing since then. We did pay for Print Center USA, we paid the convention booklets, which was $1,745.71. Those were the booklets that are in your bags. The badges, holders, and so this stuff was $1,797.25. The voting booklets were $259.06. The fee for the Hatchet House was $203.85. We also paid the Hatchet House $2,070. We had snacks for the Hatchet House, and we had beer and water and stuff for the Hatchet House. The snacks was $66.86. The beer was $49.80.
Beer and hatchets?
Beer and hatchets. Hey, that's what they asked for.
That's all right, I guess.
It was apparently a good time. So we also had the $7.42 is the OVH. We had that fee. That is the program that John Fetzko put in place for the web service. So that's our fee. It was $3 and it's increased. So I'm sure that it will increase as we use it more and he adds more things to it. We still have some speakers to pay. I've already paid a few of them. So we still have $1,502.74 to pay in speaker fees. Any questions?
Just a point of information, a number of us are questioning the, something about a voting booklets or something like that. Nobody received them, or some people we're talking to.
So we do have the
Voting cards?
voting, I don't know where the voting booklets are. That would be a Joy question. I think they're up here in the Uline box.
Okay, they haven't been distributed yet.
They have not been
Thank you.
distributed yet.
Points of information. Can you can you email me that report?
Can I what?
Can you email me that report?
I can email you that report.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I figured that would be easier for you.
Podium mic.
Anything else?
Dave Benner from Nashville. I move that we accept the treasurer's report.
Does anybody mind? Hearing none. Thank you, Nicole. You do good work. Okay, we're actually moving ahead. What do we got next? Secretary's report. Bonnie, where you at? You got a report for us?
No, sir, I do not.
All right.
Thank you very much for letting me be secretary this year.
All right, we're moving right along. Chair election. There you go. All right, let's, without objection, we'll open the floor for nominations for chair of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania.
I would like to, Jamie Martin from Delaware County. I would like to nominate Rob Coburn for chair.
Rob Coburn. Yes, Mr. Shutter.
Mr. Chair, just to watch him get his ass kicked, I nominate Nick Starwark.
There you go. You know, Nick and I go back to when he was a teenager, when I was running for vice president in 2000, and I thought he was a brilliant kid. I said, that guy's got a future in the party. Was I wrong? Was I wrong? No. Okay. Any other nominations? Joe, you got a nomination?
Move to close nominations.
Wait, I have one more nomination I'd like to make. Hi, I'm Pietro, chair of the Orange County, New York Libertarian Party. I nominate Adam Christian Reinhardt for chair of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania.
Adam Reinhardt.
What is your name? Wait, what?
That's a good question. Has Adam accepted? He has to accept the nomination. All right, until we get word. How about Nick? Is Nick in the house? Okay, do we have any indication that Nick accepted? All right, without explicit word that either Nick or Adam have accepted, we're not going to be able to put their names into consideration. How about Rob? Where you at, Rob? Rob accepts. There you go. And by the way, boys and girls, stop me if I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, I'm going to invent a new parliamentary rule. It's called chair's advice. Say, Mr. Chair, you know, what about X? I'll say, okay, X, nobody uses the letter a lot. It's way down there in the alphabet. You know, we'll deal with it. But I'm not, I encourage you, let me know where I'm doing wrong. And to my parliamentary staff here, same thing. Don't be afraid to whack me upside the head when I need it. Are there any other nominations for chair? Let's see. Yes, Mr. Gubernatorial almost.
I would like to nominate Christine Womack for chair.
Christine. I was waiting for that one. Christine, are you in the house? Do you accept? You demand, woman. All right. Any other nominations for chair of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania? Let me ask again. Any more nominations for the chair of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania? Now,
Move to close nomination.
There's a motion to close nominations. Is there any objection? All right, no objections. Nominations are closed. I hope there's nobody on the other end of this line. I really do. No, it's a push to talk. I just got to be careful where I hold on to it. Okay, so we have two candidates, Rob Coburn and Christine Womack. What I'd like to do is invite them to come up and give them 2 minutes each why they think they should be chair. Now, I'm just going to throw out these numbers. I think 2 minutes is a reasonable number. Does that sound good? Yeah, okay, thank you. That's my first lifeline to the audience. We have a timer. He's over here. And I invite you to come up onto the stage, each one of you. Either take a seat, stand, do a Rob sort of a thing where he's going, Sam Rob, walking back and forth. And, okay. And we'll give them 2 minutes each. And we've got our timer. And if you could come around the front here where they could see, take a seat or something like that. Hey, we're libertarians. We can figure this out. Wait for him to get into position. All right, ready, set. Now, call me a chauvinist, but I think ladies always go first. So let's have Christine. 2 minutes, my lady. Why should you be chair?
Hi, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Christine Kessler-Womack. I am from York, Pennsylvania. I've been a Libertarian since 2016. I helped on the Gary Johnson campaign, the Joe Jorgensen campaign as the state manager. I am also managing some other campaigns at the moment, and I managed Tim McMaster's 48th District Senate campaign, where he got the highest percentage of any Libertarian in this state with 3.4%, which was a very awesome thing in a four-way race. I am caucus agnostic, but I understand that every caucus has a purpose, and every one of them have goals and skill sets that need to be utilized in helping growing the party, and I'm willing to work with anyone who wants to get work done. The movement here is to spread liberty, to get people elected, and everyone has a skill set that helps to get that done, and we need to utilize that skill set. As chair, I want to make the meetings run efficiently as possibly, work together, give the resources to all the committees, and help every committee be the most productive that they can be. The chair is an administrative role, and I'm ready to do that. And that's it.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Rob Coburn. 2 minutes, sir. Why should you be chair?
Hey, guys. I'm Rob Coburn. I'm an attorney in Pittsburgh. I operate in the Allegheny County Party and here at the state level on a number of different committees. Why I'm seeking this position as chair is that I think that the role has been very misunderstood over the last little bit of time here, the last few chairs. If we're really doing the role of the chair right, it's really a hall monitor type of position where we're facilitating meetings and getting the committees operating in a productive manner where the good work is pushed off from the state party into the committees and our county affiliates. I think that this morning was the best demonstration that we need to get as much business out of the state party as possible. And the way that we can go about this is by filling our committees with the good volunteers, all of you people here, and delegating to them the proper authority that they need to be able to handle and hash these things out during the month. And so we're not bringing every single thing to the board meeting, getting and have 40 whatever votes that we have, everybody putting their 2 cents in on every issue. But the bigger, even more than that, we need to be pushing a lot of this off into our county affiliates, The county affiliates are now where this party was just a few years ago. And I think the role of this party really needs to be to building up these county affiliates so that everybody in their communities who work well together, the business is getting handled there. So I'd like to see the state board taking a more advisory role, getting a lot of business out and getting it into the committees and the county affiliates where the people are actually doing the work.
Excellent. Without objection, I'd now like to open up the floor to questions to either, both, or neither not neither candidates. Question of the candidates. And I think we're going to try to limit this. Let's see how many questions come up. If it goes too long, I'm just going to say yo.
Am I good?
You're good.
Kyle from Westmoreland County. I had both these lovely people on my podcast. I think they're both great people. And I'm sure they know the answer to this question already, but would you both be willing to work with one another should things not go your way?
I am willing to work with anyone who wants to get work done. I will not be stepping on the shoes of Rob if he were to win chair. The role of a chair has specific duties to oversee and everything like that. And so there's not really a role to kind of like help facilitate that, but I can help in continuing the movement in the ways that I find productive.
To answer your question? Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think that it's really up for question that Christine is one of the hardest working people in the party as far as what she does with membership and in her local county there. So I would, if I lose or if I lose. Yeah. I think that she's fully capable of this role, and I think would be in good hands if she ends up winning. But what I would do to support her would be to reach to the people who I have influence over and impart on them that we need to be behind her and give her a genuine chance so that we can try and resolve some of this what we saw here this morning.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're on, sir.
Brandon Bentram from Bucks County. I'd like to direct this question to actually both candidates, and it actually is not too far off from the previous question. I would just like to challenge both candidates to either affirm or reject that, regardless of the outcome of the election, that you'll stay in the party. I have spoken with both candidates, and I value both of your work in the party, as I do think a lot of people in this room do. And I think I speak for a lot that I would just like to see us to build more bridges and work on furthering all this liberty message.
I'm not going anywhere, so.
And I have no intentions of leaving anytime soon.
I know.
Thank you both.
And both of you guys survived the convention last year, so if somebody's going to leave. Last year would have been the time. Are there any other questions of the candidate? Yes, sir.
Yes, hi, Jacob Winograd, and I need to correct Ken. I'm also a member of the Party Harmony Caucus.
Woo-hoo!
So,
two of us!
Yes, but I am from York County with Christine, so I know Christine well. We actually are neighbors, and I know Rob well because I've worked with him over the past year. I think they both would be great chairs of this party. My question to both of them, and you guys have talked a little bit about it, but I thought maybe you could expound a bit more on how you would work with the different, factions and groups within the party. And specifically Rob, I know you are, we are both part of the Macy's caucus. If you were to be chair, what are the ways that you would try to work to help, for the people who aren't in the caucus that they don't feel excluded or to make sure that they're involved? And Christine, for you as well, like what are the ways that you would, help to make sure we can foster the kind of environment where, different factions are going to get along and work well together? Thank you.
Sure. Personally, I have worked with a bunch of people from all kinds of backgrounds in my tenure as a Libertarian in this party. Currently on my campaign teams, I have a variety of people with diversity because, again, everyone has a skill set, and I do not hold that same skill set as a lot of people. I have moved to add people to committees that have been horrible to me, but I understand that they have a skill set and it needs to be used. So I am more than willing, again, to work with anyone who wants to get work done because we are all going to have to play a part in this movement for it to actually happen.
Amen.
there's been a habit that has seemed to pervade the party where we attribute the actions of certain individual people to all of the associations that they have. I would like to remind everyone that, you know, these groups that we're in and the areas of these things that we like to do, they're not exclusive of each other. You know, if one person happens to do one thing, good or bad, we need to remember to credit that person to the full responsibility of it. The reasons for these different special interest groups have a purpose. And once we realize that they're just all different arms of the same body, we can do the things that we like to do and root each other on, and we don't have to pick one or the other. So.
Amen. Good answers, both of you. You're on.
Hi, it's Calvin Minjone from Bucks County. Just want to ask you both, regardless of whether you win or not, what would you do to make sure that proper order is maintained in the Zoom meetings? That's been a contentious issue of late. And what would you do to make sure that all the voting delegates can accurately talk during the meetings and make sure they are muted when they shouldn't be or kicked out or anything like that?
Good question.
So that was just to confirm, because you backed away a few times. How would we hold decorum and efficient meetings while allowing all the board members to have a voice?
Correct.
Okay. You know, like Rob said, and I kind of hinted on, is the chair is in more of an administrative, a hall monitor role. It really comes down to the board and the representatives to have a respect for each other and a respect for each other's time. And, you know, as chair, I would push forth decorum. And, you know, I think muting everyone might not be the best thing, because that's just going to irritate people that they can't have that voice. But I think setting forth kind of the expectations like Ken did earlier with the set of rules, kind of as guidelines of what to happen during convention, is a really good precedent to move forward in the meetings.
Thank you.
I think we've done a very poor job as a state board in letting our board members know just how important it is to have a basic understanding of the rules of procedure. We use Robert's rules here in Pennsylvania, and if you're going to be a representative, you have to know at bare minimum how to bring a motion, when to be recognized, who to address. So I would offer to any board member who would want it, you know, the assistance in helping to get familiar with and training with our rules. So once you understand the rules, this is meant to be something that helps us be more efficient and productive. So I think if our board members are enlightened on the procedures of Robert's rules, that we might see something a little bit better.
I would agree strongly. Yes, sir.
Avery Rumberger, Treasurer and Youth Director of Schuylkill. This is a question for both of you. So every election year is important in the Libertarian Party, but this year I believe our minor party status is up in the air based on our vote percentages. So how would both of you help us maintain our minor party status, or even go above and beyond that and maintain major party status, hopefully?
Well, I think my experience in running campaigns and working on them gives me, no offense, Rob, a little leg up on the signature ballot access procedures, on how to do that. Bragging moment, I was the top volunteer petition signature collector for the Jorgensen campaign. There's definitely guidelines that need to be had. There's certain paperwork that needs to be used to do the ballot signature collection. And I would want to put together an educational video, some kind of forum that would help to educate on how those signatures need to be collected, so that when the challenging period happens, we're not having as many signatures thrown out because they're more valid. Also, informing and giving resources to all the committees across the state, the different affiliates, so that they can properly support the candidates running for gubernatorial, lieutenant gubernatorial, senate, and any other congressional districts, and making sure that all the ballots have all of the candidates' names on them that are running in that area and might be on the ballot for that specific polling place, is going to maximize the usage of our volunteers that are collecting signatures. And I think that that's going to be the best way to utilize our volunteer hours and to make sure that we maintain minor party status and then hopefully major party status. Yeah.
So what we're doing here is trying to grow this party, and I think there's a number. Oh, sorry. I think there's a number of ways in which we need to look at about how to be pulling in more libertarians. Obviously, running candidates is what we're doing here. But I think that this party is missed out on the fact that we're supposed to have a couple more branches to this thing. We should be an educational and activist activity, an activist organization, just as much as we're running our candidates. And to that effect, I would like to see us really look into a consistent basis of issue coalitions where we're getting into our communities, going out and finding local areas or local issues and doing canvassing, going out door knocking and letting people know the issues that are going on, and then invite them into the party. So in this way, we can get a basis of volunteers who are regularly going out and finding more people. And then we have these people banked up when we need to go and run a candidate election and get them door knocking. So if we're focusing on issues that are mattering to people where they're at, we can be reaching more people, bringing them in, and then getting them moved over and supporting our elections.
Mr. Chair, can I follow that up with something?
It's okay. Should you follow up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I agree, Rob, on a lot of your points, but I'd also like to point out there's a lot of people in this room that came from the Joe Jorgensen campaign. So.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt. My point was that we need to find a way to continue to make sure that we maintain our minor party status. And I think with what you guys did is set up. You showed how to make an effective campaign initiative there. But I think that we can do a few more things on top of that, like these activist and education activities, to make sure we're padding those campaign numbers.
Okay. Let's see. You in line for a question?
Yes.
Okay. We've been doing this now, according to my clock, for about 15 minutes. Should we proceed? What do you think? Should we do more questions, or what do you want? Okay. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase it. How many think we should keep going? A couple more questions. Say.
There's three. There's three.
I think we can take three more.
All right.
All
right. Sounds good. Let's continue.
All right. Kareem Mays, Westmoreland, Mises Caucus organizer. I want to say both Christine and Rob have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and they'd be both great for this. But you're talking about issue coalitions. If you guys were to pick one issue that you could fix or really focus on, what would that issue be and why?
Felons' rights reform, because people deserve a second chance and they should be able to hold office. They've paid their debts. They should be able to serve their community.
I second that. There's an issue that I am very close personally with as an attorney, and that is jury nullification. I would love to see a statewide campaign where we get jury nullification as a mandatory instruction at every criminal proceeding. And I think that this is something once people understand the power that the juries can have to refuse to convict somebody of these just treacherous, unjust laws, that we might see an upturn in our membership there.
Joseph Van Wagner, Montgomery County. You call the question.
All right. Well, I'm going to sneak in here. I got one question for each of you. Are you Toastmasters?
No. No desire, to be honest.
Oh, no. We may have the best message on the planet, but it's useless if we can't communicate it. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. All right. Next up, we are going to do some voting. Who is the voting person? Do we have a voting person? Hey, I'm new at this. Cut me a break. Now, all right, how do you think we should do this? Should we do it just by, all in favor of Rob, like American Bandstand? So, well, wait a minute. All right, let me break this down. How many think we should just do it by acclaim?
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Hang on a second. How many think we should do it by acclaim? I'm not hearing anything. How many? All right, there's some. How many think we should do it by written ballot? How many think we should do it by some third method I can't think of?
Voice vote. Voice vote.
There are.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
I'm aware of that.
It has to be by paper ballot.
I don't know why it has to be. I turned.
Isn't it in our bylaws?
Robert's rules is the vote goes, you go in the order of the nomination.
Our Constitution.
Nominated first, he comes up first.
Yeah, it's in our Constitution.
And it's either yes or no to that person, and if they gain a majority. So in other words, people before they vote should think in terms of, well, I'm going to vote for one or the other. I'm not going to vote for both, or else the first person up wins.
Okay.
So that's the proper-
Oh, you should have had the
that's up to
microphone.
you.
You should have had the microphone in front of you.
It's up
Oh
to you
man.
as far as really is the method of, I mean, I don't recommend voice, frankly, but
Karen Ann, what do you think? Voice? Correct. She says the bylaws are silent on this.
So the body gets to decide, but you never vote against a candidate. It's always improper to vote.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to suggest
Mr.
people.
Chair, I believe it's in our Constitution. I don't have it right in front of me.
it's not voting against. It would only be
Yeah, only voting in favor. So the bottom line is, like on American Bandstand, who thinks couple number one? And everybody goes, yay. Who thinks couple number two? Yay. Who thinks NOTA? Yay. And if that's too close, then we'll fall back to paper. How's that sound?
Or we could just start with paper and voice. I'm fine. We're both fine with paper.
Oh, and you know what? That is too close a vote to call. Because I heard yeses and nos there. Yeah, let's vote on how to vote. So since it's so close and there's such a division among the body out there, I'm going to say let's go right to paper. How's that sound?
Yes.
All right. Let's get the paper people out here. Let's distribute stuff. And our chair candidates, thank you very much. You can reclaim your seats. Good luck to the best one. Toastmasters.org if you want to join. My lady. Oh. Okay, I can do that. Just as a reminder, write-ins are permitted. And in order for a person to get elected, they have to receive a majority of the vote. And that would include write-ins, notas, and both candidates. So it could be, well, you know what the numbers are. You get the idea.
Mr. Chair.
I can't hear you.
All right.
Introduce yourself, please.
Luke Enzer, Capital Area LP. I was appointed to be on the Teller Committee for this convention. The paper ballots are on either side. What we're going to do is we're going to have delegates with last names starting with A through K come up here. You'll check in. You'll get your ballot. You'll put down your choice, put it in the box. Same thing over here with L through Z. Keep it moving quick, and that's how we're going to do it.
Sounds good. All right, line up. A through K's.
And by the way, the ballots are for all of the officer and judicial committee positions.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! No, whoa. We're only doing chair.
No. The ballots are pre-printed with perforated, so you can tear off the ballot for chair and then vice chairs.
Did you get that? You're only doing chair.
Only vote for chair. Only vote for chair.
Oh, I guess we're opening the floor to nominations for what? Well, okay, we'll start. Well, I was going to start with Western Vice. We'll start with Eastern. Okay, Eastern Vice Chair. Floor is open to nominations. And given that some of you are in line, feel free to scream it out. Without objection, we'll open nominations for Eastern Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair?
Wait.
Mr. Chair?
Whoa. Hang on.
Who nominated? Please say your name.
Yeah.
Westmoreland, Anthony Petito for Eastern Vice Chair.
Do you know, if you're not in line, come up to the microphones. Oh, no, he wasn't.
Should I ask you for your phone?
You know, I'm not getting these names.
I almost fell down the ramp.
Joel gets for Eastern Vice Chair. And who was the other one?
I nominate Anthony Portillo for Eastern Vice Chair. Oh, I'm sorry, Adam Nutter, Bucks County.
You know, and I'm not getting the names. Who are you nominating?
This guy in the gold jacket, Anthony Portillo, Eastern Vice Chair. How could you miss him, Ken? Jesus, right here.
Anthony, spell his last name, please.
Ken, Portillo. Want me to just do that too? Write it down? Fuck.
And just for the record,
My baloney has a first name. All right, so I got Joel Getz, Anthony Portillo, and
Portillo.
Portino?
And for the record, Christine nominated Joel Getz for Eastern Vice Chair.
That's it. I don't know. Tell you what.
I have some information. Joel Getz is not going to accept the nomination.
See, it's just too loud. I'm half deaf, and I'm having trouble hearing
All right,
stuff.
I can tell you the spelling.
Okay, Joel Getz has not accepted the nomination.
Correct.
There you go.
Name, please. Thank you.
And who did you nominate? John Weir. I know John. All right.
I move to close nominations.
Okay. I have Anthony Portillo, John Weir, and who's the third?
It was Jessica something. I thought there was a Jessica something nominated.
There is no longer a third. Joel Getz will not accept his nomination.
Yeah, but do you know how to spell these names? With a P, yeah. Did you get that, Ed? Portillo. Who's?
It's not Portino, it's Portillo with LL.
It's P.
Like Pollo.
LLO. Yep.
Yes.
I move to close nominations.
Wait, there's a motion to close nominations for Eastern Vice Chair. Anybody else have any nominations? Anybody mind? Without objection, we'll close up nominations. All right, we got two of them. Let's go to Central Vice Chair. Nomination for Central Vice Chair. Without objection, I'll open them up. Jim McMaster for Central Vice.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I am Anthony Portillo from Bucks County, and I nominate Eric Brown for Central Vice Chair. Sorry.
Eric, how do you spell your last name, please?
Mr. Chair.
Eric with a K. Carrick. No, sorry. And last name? Brown? Not like Harry Brown? With an E on the end? That's not like Harry Brown. There you are. Okay, we have Tim McMaster, Eric with a K, Brown without the E. Anybody other nominations for Central Vice Chair?
I move to close nominations.
There's a motion on the floor to close nominations for Central. There's a second. Who made this?
Joseph Van Wagner, Montgomery.
Who made the motion?
Joseph Van Wagner.
Joe Van Wagner from Montco. Madam Secretary, you're good?
I'm good. Did these people accept their nominations?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Did they accept their nominations?
Let's see. All right. Eric has accepted. Tim McMaster, you in the room? He accepts. Very good. John Weir, you're in the room. You accepted? Yeah. Okay. Anthony, with the last name we all yell about, you accept as well. Okay.
Thank you.
So where was I? I was saying there's motion on the floor to close nominations for Central Vice Chair. Any objection? And seconded. All right. Hey, somebody got me a gavel. Closed. All right. Now we do Western Vice Chair. Nomination without objection. Nominations are now open for Western Vice Chair.
Preston Smith nominates Bill Cox.
Bill
from Westmoreland.
Cox. Are there any other nominations for Western Vice Chair?
Hello?
I gotcha.
I'm Reese Smith from Crawford County. I nominate Glenn Tuttle from Crawford County.
Glenn Tuttle.
Mr. Chair.
Hang on. All right, go ahead. Who's that?
Spelling, please, for that last nomination.
Glenn Tuttle. Glenn, G-L-E-N-T-T-U-T-T-L-E. It's like bottle, but with a B, with a T. Tuttle? Yep. Yep, that looks good. Okay, any other nominations for Western Vice Chair? Hearing none.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion to close nominations.
There's a.
Do they accept their nominations?
Yeah, there's Joe Van Wagner moved to close nominations. There's a second over here. Without objection, we'll close nominations. All right, no objections. This is great. Then that's it. So we've got the names on the screen. I would like to invite all of them. Well, let's do it one at a time.
Points of
Let
information.
me back up a second. We've talked over the voting procedure, and what we just did is not workable. All right. So what various people have proposed, various different approaches, and the one that I like best, and it's up to you guys. I mention these one at a time. We're going to vote for all the vice chairs at once. All right. And you're going to do it in your seats. What we're going to do is we're going to take the bucket and we're going to walk down, like in church with the contributions, and each row you're just going to stick it in the bucket. So that way everybody's going to stay in their seat. Maybe you can walk out to the aisle to help the guy out or something like that. So that way we're not going to have the lines again. It's going to go faster because they just walk up, everybody puts their things in there. Is that okay?
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
I thought you already signed it. Didn't you sign to get your?
Don't we sign it for each thing?
Yeah, because you won't know if somebody.
So the book is, what we're thinking about doing is splitting the book up, having people at 8 points throughout the theater, and then we'll subdivide that way. It'll still be a little backed up, but it'll be much more.
Wait a minute. What's the point of having them sign for each one? I can understand signing for the ballot, but once they have all the ballots, why do you need?
Can I offer a suggestion? Could we go through the rest of the officers and then we just do a collective drop for all of the officers at one time?
Yeah, I already suggested that.
Okay.
Yep.
That way the book gets signed and everyone is accounted for.
Yeah, but he's saying, what about signing the book? And I'm asking, why are we signing the book? Everybody already signed for their ballots.
To make sure that there's no one duplicating, to hold everyone to the best integrity.
Well, there are only so many ballots out there. How could it be duplicated?
They could turn in one.
Now, there's only one case, and we talked about this too. I was going to save this for later. The Judicial Committee, there are 5 ballots, and that was a mistake that was made last year. Some people put the same name on all 5 ballots. So the suggestion for the JC is that just take 1 ballot and write 5 names on the back.
Mr. Chair, I just asked that we just ask the BOD to see.
I'm sorry, that we what?
Can we just ask the BOD to see if they want to do it as all with the
I
signing
agree.
of
I agree. It's getting that. Right now, we're still in the suggestion phase.
I have an idea.
Yep. See, there's brand new ideas all the time.
You were mentioning before about doing all the officers' nominations at once.
All the vice chairs.
Okay.
Point of a request for information. Could we add secretary and treasurer to that and vote for them as well, along with the vice chairs?
Yeah, with the vice chairs? Okay.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yep, that's a good idea.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, that means that, well, let me ask the body, first of all. We're talking about doing all the vice chairs at once, plus secretary and treasurer. Without objection?
I object.
All right, let's put it to a voice vote. All those in favor of including the secretary and treasurer in with the all the vice chairs, say aye. Aye. All opposed? There has to be at least one. Somebody said nay before. Oh, come on, guys. Okay, then we'll do the same thing with that. So let me open the floor without objection to nominations for secretary. Crickets.
I would like to nominate Greg Deal. Bonnie
Greg
Clary.
Deal for secretary. Are there any other nominations for secretary, please?
Mr. Chair,
John Waldenberger.
I nominate myself for secretary. John Waldenberger. W-A-L.
John, do you accept?
I do.
Gregory Deal? Gregory Deal, do you accept? All right, you the man. I will miss you on the JC, sir. Oh, wait, I resign. All right, and you know, I missed asking Bill Cox, did you accept the? Okay, thank you. Glenn Tuttle, how about you? All right, we got it. All right, we're still doing secretary. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania? Going once, going twice. I will, without objection, I will close.
Jamie Martin from Delco. I nominate Greg Deal for secretary.
Greg Deal? Greg's already been nominated.
Sorry, it was not up on the board.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. All righty. That's it. So without objection, we're going to close nominations for secretary.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Please check the screen to make sure that I am accurate for secretary.
I think the body would jump all over me if it was spelled wrong. So let me open up to the body. Make sure the person who's accepting the nomination on your own behalf, make sure your name is spelled right. Delegate authority. There you go. Okay, last and definitely not least, for the person with the money, without objection, I will open the floor for nominations for Treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania. Who? Nicole Schultz.
Was that Tim?
I am Tim McMaster.
All right. Nicole, do you accept? Thank you. Hey, somebody did a good
Mr.
job
Chair.
imitating her voice. Yes. I'm kidding.
This is Matt Hackenberg, Northampton. I motion or nominate Laura Hackenberg.
Laura. Laura who?
Laura Hackenberg.
Hackenberg?
No, but if you listen to
Hackenberg. Hack. Or U instead of E. That's a big voice. Why am I talking this thing? Why can I just talk out loud?
All right. Ed, you're doing great back there. All right. Are there any other nominations for Treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania? Hearing none, without objections, I will close nominations. Without objection, nominations are hereby closed. All right. Now. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Just jump up to a microphone if you see a misspelling or something. You know, it's your name. And I don't have an eyes in the back of my head or anything. All right. All right, next up, what we would do is I'd like to ask the candidates for Eastern Vice Chair to come up and do 2 minutes and let us know why they should be Eastern Vice Chair. Anthony Portillo, John Weir, get your butts up here. Love the jacket. I borrow your microphone?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Anthony. John Weir. Where are you? So, I'm sorry? Oh, all right. Well, you know what? Let's move on to Central Vice Chair. Don't go far. Tim McMaster, Eric Brown, come on up. Without objection, I should keep saying. Without objection, we're going to all stop for a beer. How's that? All right. Welcome, welcome. All right, we have our timer out front. We all know the rules. 2 minutes apiece to use as they see fit. And since neither one is a lady, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So we're going to start with Anthony Portillo. Anthony, why should you be Eastern Vice Chair?
Oh.
Wrong panel, Ken. Eric Brown.
Hey, everybody. I'm Eric
figure
Brown
it out.
from Blair. I'm Eric Brown from Blair County, candidate for Central Region Vice Chair. I want to thank you all for being here and for everything you've done to grow our Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania. I am thrilled to be part of this team working on our momentously important project, that of reinvigorating the liberty movement inspired by Ron Paul and making the Libertarian Party exponentially more relevant in American politics. I am a soon-to-be retired CPA/corporate accountant. My career includes 24 years with 2 daily newspapers, including roles as chief financial officer, controller, general manager of operations. I have a lot of leadership experience in deadline-driven environments. There was a period in my life many years ago when I quite mistakenly believed that the Republican Party was serious about liberty and limited government. During those years, I served as a Blair County Vice Chair, was very active on successful campaign committees for 2 judges, a district attorney, a county commissioner, and a Pennsylvania state representative. I organized and worked at outreach and fundraising activities. I circulated petitions, worked phone banks, went door to door with candidates, you name it, I did it. But gradually I realized the Republican Party was definitely not my home, and that I am, in fact, a libertarian at heart. I'm getting a 30-second warning, so I want to say I'm a team player. I'm ready, willing, and able, and highly motivated to do much more for the LPPA. I'm currently the vice chair in Blair County, along with Brian Goodnight and his wife, Alicia, who are doing a great job there. I'll be accessible. I'll return phone calls. I'll reply to emails. I'll reply to text messages. I want to get the unaffiliated counties in Blair County, in the Central Region affiliated on time.
Thank you. All right. Next up, Tim McMaster. Why should you be Eastern Vice, West Central? One of them vice chairs.
Central Vice Chair,
Central.
Ken. Try to keep up. All right, so let's
Good
cut
luck.
the BS. If you guys know me, you know who I am, you know what I do. Right now, I'm the current chair of the Affiliate Support Committee. Our goal with the Affiliate Support Committee is by the end of 2022 to have every single county in Pennsylvania affiliated. And we're already making great strides. Thank you. We're already making great strides to do that. If I'm not selected as the Eastern Vice Chair, I'm still going to keep doing my work for Central. I'm still going to keep doing what I do for the Liberty Movement, for the Libertarian Movement, small L, because quite honestly, the party is irrelevant to the actual movement of creating liberty. My goal is to make my kids freer than I was and freer than I am. So if you know me, you know that that's what I work for, that's what motivates me, and that's, quite honestly, pardon my bellicosity here, that's what I give a shit about. You talk about this caucus or that caucus, this division or that division, I don't care. What I care about is advancing the cause of liberty so that you and you and you and you and every single one of you can be freer tomorrow than you are today. My name's Tim McMaster, and I'd appreciate your support.
Nice. Let me ask, do we want to ask these people questions? All those in favor say aye. All those who don't want to ask them questions say nay. All right.
Really? That's it? We don't get
No questions. All right. John Weir, did you make it back?
Good seeing you again, sir. Best of luck.
All right. Let's get John. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's their long lost brothers. Civil War. All right. We all know the rules by now. 2 minutes. We've got John Weir and Anthony Portillo. Let's start again.
That's the gringoest way to pronounce my last name.
Portillo?
It's Portillo, yes.
Portillo. My apologies.
2 L's is a Y.
Yeah. My culture does it differently. Anyway, so let's start off with Anthony. You say it Anthony, right?
Yes.
2 minutes. Why should you be the Eastern Vice Chair?
I like to stand. What's up, LPPA? I'm Anthony Portillo from Bucks County. I'm a lot of things. I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle, I'm a son. I'm also a child of immigrants. My grandparents gave up everything they knew in Argentina so I could have a freer existence, so I could stand before you today in the name of liberty. I'm old enough to remember when liberty wasn't a buzzword or an alt-right dog whistle. I'm also old enough to remember when Ron Paul told us everything that would happen and it all came true. I've been a political nerd since I was probably 9 years old, despite my good looks and this ridiculous jacket. That's been a long time. I decided to get involved because I met some people in this room and I got involved with the work that they were doing. And I decided these were my people, the LPPA is our vehicle, and this is our moment. We have a unique opportunity to see liberty in our lifetimes be a reality. People are open to our message, but are we ready to deliver it? Are we ready to deliver it? I believe that my vision for this position can help us get in that position. I want to see us run candidates that can win. I want to see us get behind Issues Coalition. Where's Audrey at? Like, Don't Tread on Philly, the Harm Reduction Alliance. Areas where we should be building bridges. I want to put this bullshit behind us. I know you guys don't know me, but I bring a fresh perspective. I don't have all the bullshit behind me. So I'm asking you for your vote today because I trust that my actions, my work, and my character will speak for themselves, and we can put the bullshit behind us and focus on the real fight, the state. Also, please give a round of applause for Joel Getz, who's probably puking and shitting at the same time right now up in his hotel room.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. Next up, Eastern Vice Chair, hopeful John Weir. John, 2 minutes. Tough act to follow.
Yeah, that was cool. Hey, can you guys hear me? Hi, my name is John Weir, and I'm from Lancaster County, the blessed Lancaster County. I love it there, and I am the owner and operator of Weir Solutions, LLC. I am like a handyman. I deal with a lot of people's problems. And I started that business because I found that solving problems is more of an approach more than a knowing how to deal with this particular situation. I enjoy solving problems. I feel like I'm able to take pressure and issues accordingly and kind of wade through the actual options of a solution, because there's always multiple approaches. There's never one way out of a move or like a pinch point. You always have a couple ways out. You always just have to weigh your pros and cons of each. My intention in this life is to improve the quality of my life and as many lives around mine as possible. And every day I wake up thankful that I get to wake up, and I'm thankful that I get to face this opportunity to solve more problems. If you're interested in having me help solve problems, my understanding is this may be a position where I may be able to help solve some problems. And if you would like me to help solve problems, I am willing to help solve problems. That's all I got.
All right, let me ask again. Do we want to have any questions for these two gentlemen? All those in favor say aye. Crickets? Crickets are in favor. All those opposed? Thank you. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much and best of luck. Next up, Western Vice Chair. I think I got that one right. Bill Cox, Glenn Tuttle, you guys want to come forward?
Anthony, you still seem very excited.
There you go. All right. We all know the rules. 2 minutes, and the alphabetical order is easy. Bill Cox, why should you be Western Vice Chair?
Hi, my name is Bill Cox. I'm from Westmoreland County. I am the current Vice Chair and the former Chair of the county. I know a lot of the faces in this room, and the ones I haven't met yet. I sincerely can't wait to meet you and get to know you. My goal as Western Vice Chair is to get the remaining counties we have out there, 10 that need affiliated. In doing that, what I hope to bring to the western region of the state is to build a sense of community so we can get the most effective, well-versed activists we can to get them into the party and do stuff in our communities, bring legislation forward, whether it be decriminalization, nullification, any of that. In doing the work and bringing the activists into the party, that's how we farm and build the best candidates to run for office. Running candidates who are effective, purposeful, and have a strong understanding of the libertarian principle are the best way to grow the liberty movement. That's how I plan on doing that. That's all I got for you guys. William Cox for Western Vice Chair.
Next up.
Hello there, y'all. My name is Glenn Tuttle. I am from Crawford County. We just restarted the party from pretty much the ashes on January. My goal as Western Vice Chair would be, of course, to recruit more candidates, and more importantly, in some of the rural areas, just getting recruitment, getting people there, trying to set up more, county affiliates, as we do have some barren spots in there, to run some really good candidates. I do believe you can pull people into libertarian runs if you really talk to them, especially if they're interested. Promotion. I do like to travel. I currently work as a contract DON right now, running all over the state. I have the ability right now, in order to travel all over and to talk a good game about libertarianism. I do believe that we should work on decriminalization, not legalization. Screw the state. Get rid of all the restrictions. You should be able to own a weapon while you have weed. No, and I don't believe, quote unquote, in caucuses. I believe as an individual, you bring your talents to the party. I don't care about your caucus. What are you doing for the party? What are you doing for recruitment? What are you doing for your candidates? And what else? Log Cabin Republican of Pennsylvania. I ran it from about 2012 to 2015 until I hated Trump with a passion and permanently left. Been on school board and also have been appointed to numerous city positions. Of course, rebuilt the party with Reese Smith. Wherever you are, thank you, brother. You are a godsend. And that's all I've got. Vote for me because I rock.
Good luck, Glenn.
Thank you. And let me ask the question. All those in favor of asking questions of the candidates, please say aye. All those opposed to asking candidate questions? Sorry, gentlemen. I would like the question. So I want to know if they're Toastmasters, but I'm going to have to go past that one. No, I'm not that bright. All right. Next up, let's do Secretary. Greg Deal, John Waldenberger, get yourselves up here. Let's get this rolling. Hey, I still got to vote. Which side am I on? It's A to K?
Yes, sir. Mr. Waldenberger, you can go first.
Thank you, sir. Off and send me up.
All right. All right. We know the drill now. You got 2 minutes each, and they've agreed that John should go first. Mr. Waldenberger, why should you be secretary?
First of all, I'm not a Toastmaster, Ken. I have experience as being secretary. I was secretary of Mako for about 3.5 years. I doubled as my own secretary when I was briefly chair or helping for chair for both Bucks and Montgomery County. The role of the secretary is an administrative role, make sure that we are compliant in every way, shape, and possible within the party. And I will make sure that all minutes are properly filed and accessible to membership within a reasonable amount of time so that they may view it before the next board meeting.
All right. Thank you, John. Next up, Greg Deal. Tell us, why should you be secretary?
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Greg Deal from Butler County. I'm currently the chair in Butler County. I am an elected Libertarian and a veteran as well, which is one of the reasons what drove me to the Libertarian Party. I'm a steel worker by trade, and I am a small business owner of a local brewery in Butler, Pennsylvania. I've served on several boards as secretary, including several local, a couple regional, and one national board as secretary. Okay. This job requires professionalism, on-the-fly thinking, and competence. I have all three of those. I will work with the board of directors and the XCOM to help ensure the meetings are professional and efficiency. This will help with our technology, helping with the quorum, setting agendas, helping the vice chairs and the county affiliates make sure that they have the tools that they need, and also making sure that they're getting their minutes in time so that we are dealing correctly with our board votes and everything like that. I also will compile a list of our committee members so that we know who is on what committee, and we will again work with them to do whatever we need to do to make them successful. Thank you.
All right. Let me ask the body, do you want to ask questions of the candidates? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? At least you're paying attention. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much, and best of luck to both of you. All right. And the last of our state party leadership, Treasurer, the money people, Nicole Schultz, Laura Hackenberg. Can't read my own handwriting. Please come on up.
Yep.
Now, you know you people can speed things up by filling out your ballots right now, because we're going to be collecting them as soon as we're done with this. I would ask Luke that. Luke is the guy in charge of the balloting. The question was asked of me. I don't know the answer. You all signed the book to say you got the ballots. Do you want to sign the book for each individual office? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed to signing your book for every ballot, say nay. Nay. Luke, I think you got your answer, sir.
I'm fine with that. This was the biggest logistical logjam, so this will go a lot quicker.
Yep. Now, there is one glitch in that, but I'll talk about it when it comes. Okay, we have our two candidates here, and as always, ladies first. And looking at it alphabetically first and last name, Laura Hackenberg, you can go first. Why should you be the treasurer of the party?
Thank you, Ken. I feel that I should be the treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania because, oh, thank you.
You're good.
I can provide the membership with the confidence to know that their money is being spent by the board of directors in an informed and prudent way, and to inform them with the confidence that their money is being safeguarded. One of the main reasons I want to be the treasurer is because I love liberty, and I truly believe that the Libertarian Party is the way to achieve liberty.
Okay, thank you very much. Nicole, why should we keep you as what you would call treasurer, one of those things?
See, when it comes to me, he looks at me and forgets everything he's saying. I don't know what's up with that.
There's no safe answer.
See, now I got him blushing.
Anyway.
So for the past 7 months, I've been the treasurer of the LPPA. I started to put processes in place because we had processes lacking. We don't have processes set up for convention and how we spend money or budgets or anything else. So we started putting those processes in place. I would like to continue as treasurer to help continue getting those processes in place so that we know that our money is safeguarded. Even at convention this year, you probably saw that anytime you handed me or any of the 3 people that I selected cash, they handed you a receipt back. That has never been done before. So we have no way to keep track of cash that the party was getting because there was no logbook. You saw us use a 2-party system where we handed you a receipt and we kept a copy, but then we also wrote it in a logbook that we had with us so that we have a double check. Even if you gave us a check, we did give you a receipt. That way we have a double check. Those systems haven't been in place, and those systems need to be put in place, and we need more in place to safeguard our money. And that's why I would like to continue to be treasurer so I can finish fixing the issues that you guys voted me in July to do.
Nice. All right. Let me ask you, should we ask questions of our treasurer candidates? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Nay. Nobody wants to talk to you guys. You girls, or you whatever. I'm from Philly. What can I say? All right, thank you very much. All right. With that, that concludes the nominations of the various state party officials. Next step is going to be to actually do the vote. You've all got your pieces of paper there. Eastern Vice Chair, Western, Central, Treasurer, and Secretary. So fill them out. We're going to have members of the credentialing committee, or whatever committee they're on. I don't know. Luke, you tell them what they're going to do. I love delegating.
We're going to have bids labeled for each position. Once you filled everything out, you come up to fill them in. I'm thinking, what's up, Joy?
I thought we did. Shit. Oh, that's a very good point. Is there anybody else who has not yet voted for chair? There's still time to visit our concession stand. No? Okay. Forever hold your peace. Thank you, Joy. Glad you did that.
Do we have to motion that or not? Guess not.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. There's a bar upstairs?
Serving drinks.
What? I missed at the top of the stairs. There's a bar. Why do we bring this up? Did I say something? Oh. Do you mean there are people in the bar upstairs?
All right, here's how it's going to work for the
we're going to proceed right on ahead. There's no going to a bar upstairs. We're charging ahead. Because the next, write down your ballots.
Ken, point of personal privilege. I just want to explain how we're going to do the voting right now. We have...
Yeah.
What I was...
Yeah. Luke, play maitre d'. Get these people.
Yeah.
You know,
so I was thinking that we come down this side, you go along, you drop your ballot in the respective bin, and then you go back to your seat this way.
All right. And Luke, you ought to be down there just to point. You go.
The it's Central, then Eastern, then Treasurer. Okay. Central, Eastern, Western, Treasurer, Secretary.
Close.
Is everyone in the room that, like, look around, look at your friends? Like, is Christine here? Is Robin here? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure before we read these out. Okay, cool. All right, so drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
And the winner is Rob Coburn with 211 votes.
Whoa.
And then Christine, Councilor Womack, came in second with 62 votes.
Okay.
Following Christine was Noda with 3 votes. And then Adam Reinhart with 1 vote. And there were no bad ballots.
There you go. Congratulations, Rob.
Congrats, Rob Coburn.
Condolences, Rob.
Point of information, right here, point of information.
Hey, we was robbed.
To your
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
What was the total ballot count?
Oh, Joy? The total ballot, total number of votes cast?
Oh.
That's a good question. It
Yeah, I
better not be
didn't
more than 339, right?
It's not. It is 7. Sorry, guys. 277.
277 votes were cast. So
Thank you.
a lot of people aren't here.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Judicial Committee. Now, before we get to that, John Waldenberger made a very good point. If somebody loses their bid for whatever it is they're doing here that gets a board seat vote, by party rules, people on the Judicial Committee are not allowed to have a board vote. So whoever may not prevail in their whatever race, they may want to consider running for the Judicial Committee. So the question becomes, what do we do in the meantime? So what I thought, and again, without objection, is I'd like to give a little time for our Credential Committee to count the ballots by sneaking in right now the next thing up on the agenda, which is the nominations for Governor and Lieutenant Governor and U.S. Senate. So I'd like to proceed to that without objection. Is there, all those in favor of proceeding to, sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a copy of the agenda. Thank you. I was just told delegates are next. Oh, Mike, it's gonna have the same problem. You got 1 million votes. Yeah, please speak to your motion.
So, point of information, I actually had worked a voting method out with the Secretary Bonnie, with John Fetzko and IT committee, as well as Sally Combs, to use the Helios voting system to send out forms to all of the credentialed voters that would have the names of everybody who signed up as a voting option.
Okay. And
Is John Fetzko here?
How does that work?
So all of the names of people who signed up to be delegates, they would be loaded into a form.
Right.
And each one of those names would be an option to vote for.
Okay.
And then that form would be emailed out to the list of credentialed delegates, credentialed voters.
Emailed?
It's how we did the entire national convention in 2020.
And then what do? We email it back?
No, they would just be automatically tallied as people filled them out and submitted their votes.
Okay, I see.
And only an email that is attached to a credentialed voter would get the...
All right, are you making a motion to do it that way?
I would like John Fetzko to speak to it if possible. We worked this out together with Sally, Fetzko, and Bonnie.
John Fetzko, are you in the room?
Mr. Chair, I know Mr. Vice isn't going to like me for this, but I don't have to. Only people who are present at convention can vote. When you email things out, there's people who aren't.
Very true.
This
Very
is
true.
completely out of order. I know he's
Michael,
not like me for this.
cannot be done. Because you need to be present and voting. Somebody who gets that email may not be present. We just had a situation where only, out of our 339 people, only 200 and some voted. Where are the other ones? They suddenly get an email that says, oh, I get to vote? They vote. They need to be present on the convention floor. It's not going to work. It's not, wait a minute. As chair, I'm making a ruling to say, Mike, that's not going to work because it violates the present. It opens up an opportunity for people who are not present on the floor to vote. And according to our party bylaws, you need to be present on the floor to vote. Good idea, though. Thank you. All right, without objection, we're going to close balloting for the state party officers. All those in favor of closing the balloting, say aye.
Can I?
Opposed? All right, take the trash away. Let's count them up. All right, with that, without objection, we're going to move on to the combined U.S. Senate, governor, and gubernatorial nominations. So I will open up the floor for U.S. Senate nominations. Wait, is it 4 o'clock yet? Oh, wait a minute. My apologies. We still got another 30 seconds. We're, last ones, all right. All right, good. I thought we closed all this. I already said take away the trash. That's all right. I'm easy. Oh yeah, I know. And that's on my list. And you know, we should do that right now. There's a lot of trash on the sides. You know, as our good buddy Ed said, we want to be good stewards of this room. Willie is going to walk up. You take all these extra flyers and things that you didn't want, that people left on your chair, that you don't know why it's there. Take it all over to this aisle over here, and Willie's going to walk up the aisle and collect all the trash, and then back down the other side here. So get your trash, pass it down the aisle to the center, so we can be good stewards of the beautiful, beautiful hall in which we find ourselves. All right. In the meantime, floor is open for nominations for United States Senate. Crickets for United States Senate.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Christine from York, I would like to nominate Eric Gerhardt for U.S. Senate.
Eric Gerhardt. And there's, you really don't need a second for nominations, but it is appreciated because it shows that you support the candidate. All
Mr. Chair, point of privilege from the overhead projector.
Somebody's got to spell Eric. Oh.
No, we still are voting or tabulating votes for the chair positions. I can erase this or start a new document, or
Can you save?
are we going to need to return to this?
Can you save it and come back to it? Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do.
I will start a new document. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair, is this on?
Are there any other nominations for United States Senate? So far, we have Eric
Mr. Chair?
Gerhardt. Yes.
I'm doing this as future events for the LNC. My name is Avery Rumberger, Treasurer and Youth Director for Schuylkill. I would like to nominate Mitchell Mankiewicz for United States Senate.
All right. Mitchell, and what was his last name?
Mitchell. Mitchell Mankiewicz, you've been nominated for United States Senate.
Do you accept? Does he accept? Who is he? Is that you?
Yeah, that's it.
Do you accept? No, he says no. He says go away. No, he didn't say that. I said that. Okay, so no Mitchell. So far, we only have Eric Gerhardt.
Everyone, we could use some more hands with counting. We want
We
at
need
least, 2
counters,
people
ballot
for
counters. If you
each,
come up, this is
each
going to go a
ballot
lot
box.
quicker. I love it. Sir. Me. All right, thank you. All right. Any other nominations for United States Senate?
Yes.
Yes, my lady.
Jean from Allegheny County. I would like to nominate Liz Terwilliger.
Liz Terwilliger. Liz, do you accept the nomination? Where's she at?
What is your name?
Where's she at?
Can you come back, ma'am?
Jump up on stage.
While we're waiting to see if Liz accepts, are there any other nominations for United States? Yes? No. Congress is enough for you, right? All right. And Liz, if I may say, that's very well spoken. You got to focus on one office or another. Well done. All right. One last time. Are there any other nominations for United States Senate? Hearing none, without objection, I will close nominations for United States Senate. All those in favor of closing, say aye. All those opposed? All right, another unanimous one. Very good.
Mr. Chair, are all nominees listed?
All the nominations for U.S. Senate.
Are they listed on the screen?
I think there's no A in Gerhardt. I don't know. Where's Eric? Eric in the audience?
But there are no other nominations, is that correct?
Correct. No other nominations, just NOTA.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right. With that, without an objection, well, let me ask. Do you want to do the Senate speech first before we go on to the governor? All those in favor of doing the Senate speech first, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There you go, nay. So, Senate speech first. Mr. Gerhardt, the floor is yours for 2 minutes to tell us why we should pick you. Is he in the room? There you are. All right. Let's see. Could you pass? Yeah, thank you. Oh, you want the mic? You're going to stand on? Twist. There you go.
Hello? Hi, my name is Eric Gerhardt. I am running for U.S. Senate. Freedom is very important to me. Our liberties have been squashed for too long, for 2 years, and then some. I cannot stand for this any longer. I have to run to defend our freedoms first and foremost. Then bring liberty to everybody across the country, especially Pennsylvanians, and so many other problems that need to be fixed. A lot of our people that have been nominated are trying to be problem solvers. That's who I am as well. 20-year carpenter. I've solved problems. I want to solve more problems. I want to end the Fed, knock down government so that it's manageable, or just eliminate it. It's the only two conclusions I've come to. We either have to have a constitutional convention, rewrite all of it, or just start from scratch. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, so that took care of the Senate speech. And that wraps it up for U.S. Senate. So we are going to, since we're voting for all of them together, let's move on to governor and lieutenant governor. So without objection, I'm going to open the floor for nominations.
Objection, real quick.
Sure thing.
Mr. Chair, over here. Yeah. Since we only have one, I think it would make sense to do a voice vote. So I'd like to move that we suspend the rules, do a voice vote to nominate Eric Gerhardt, however it's pronounced, and then we can move on and do the other two.
It's a motion. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor of moving on to a straight voice vote for Eric and also for Noda, one or the other, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. I think that was a close one. Somebody in the back there. Anyway, so we're going to move right to a voice vote for United States Senate. And I'm going to do it Eric first and then Noda. All those in favor of Eric Gerhardt, our candidate for the United States Senate, please say aye. Aye. All those who want none of the above for our candidate for United States Senate, please say nay. Sounds to me like the ayes more than have it. Eric, congratulations, man. You're going to the United States Senate. And by the way, Eric is a Toastmaster. He's been coming to our in-person Toastmaster meetings. You gotta be it. You know, I used to get asthma attacks to speak in public. I'm sorry? I still can't hear. Oh, dilatory, yes, indeed. But join Toastmasters anyway. All right, so now we move on to, without objection, I'm going to open up nominations for Governor of Pennsylvania. I don't know what it is. Please come to the microphone if you have something to say. I cannot hear, I'm half deaf.
Do I have the floor?
Oh. Yeah, we're doing nominations for governor? Or do you have a point of order? Please speak.
Of personal preference.
That's a point of personal privilege.
Privilege. Hello, everyone. In case you haven't known, my name is Willie Harmon. I'm with the Dauphin County branch of the Capital Area Libertarian Party. And every year I come to these conventions with the same or a similar message. As we put forth these candidates, it's going to represent us, whether it be in Harrisburg or in DC, they represent you and I as a state. Prior to them getting here, you are representing them before you nominate them. You're nominating them and you're saying that your county speaks for that person. Now, jokingly, we can talk about how the mafia says, are you speaking for him? But seriously, that's what you're doing as your county. If we want clowns representing us, please join the circus, not the Libertarian Party. If you want serious candidates coming in here, it is the onus of each one of us.
Willie, what's your point of personal privilege? It sounds like you're making a speech.
Oh.
What's your point? 3, 2, 1. One sentence.
Make sure your candidates that you're nominating are libertarian, ready to represent the big L.
Thank you, Willie. All right, let's move on. Nominations, without objection, nominations are open for the governorship of the Grand Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Chair?
You got to come up to the microphone. We got to know who you are. We need a name. All right.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I would like to nominate Darrell Brooks for governor.
Darrell Brooks for governor. Second. Darrell, you do accept? I see. You accept? Yes, sir. Okay. It needs no second. All right. Are there any other nominations for governor of Pennsylvania? Yes, sir.
Paul Solina from Luzerne County. I'd like to nominate Joe Solosky.
Joe Solosky. All right. Any other nominations for governor of Pennsylvania?
I would like to accept that nomination.
Okay. You may do so, sir. And this will be the first time that I am not nominated for governor since forever. You like to nominate what? Me? No. You know, my wife would kill me. You know, she was blown away to find out that I'm sitting up here in front of all you guys. You know, at least I'll be able to have a wife to go home to. That'll be a break. And it's not dilatory. Any other nominations for governor of Pennsylvania that's not me? Last chance. Any other nominations for governor? No, well, note is always on there. All right, hearing none. Hereby close nomination for governor. And let's. Oh. Yeah, we're missing Darrell Brooks, 1 R. Not B-R-R-O-C-K. D-A-R-Y-O. 1 R. Y-L. Y-L. Why not? Right? Gary One Brooks. No, I'm kidding here. Okay. Let us move on to, then, Lieutenant Governor. Without objection, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for Lieutenant Governor. Hearing none. Let's hear some nominations, guys.
Avery Rumberger from Schuylkill. It's my honor to nominate Nicole Schultz for Lieutenant Governor.
Nicole Schultz. Nicole, do you accept? Good. We have another one?
I'd like to nominate Matt Hackenberg for Lieutenant Governor.
Okay, that would be.
They know who I am.
Was that Laura Hackenberg? Who's that? Who you nominating? Please, I'm half deaf. I'm sorry.
You want my name?
No, her name.
Oh. I nominated Matt.
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 M-A-T-T?
Yes.
And what's the last name?
Hackenberg.
Oh, so, any
That's
relation?
Laura's husband.
Matt Hackenberg. Okay, so we've got 2 of them. We got Nicole Schultz, Matt Hackenberg. Are there any other nominations for Lieutenant Governor? Oh, it's Mr. Waldenberger.
Yes, sir. I nominate myself, John Waldenberger, for Lieutenant Governor.
Who's that? Does he accept?
He does.
All right. Are there any other nominations for Lieutenant Governor?
Who nominated John?
Who nominated? John nominated.
Thank you.
Yeah, he wasn't paying the rest of us enough. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. All right. Any other nominations for Lieutenant Governor of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? Hearing none. Without objection, I'm going to close nominations for Pennsylvania Governor. All those in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that's it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to give each one of them 2 minutes to come up on the stage and to tell us why they should be governor and lieutenant governor. And let's begin with governor. Let's bring up here, who were they? They were, somebody's going to yell at me and say, Ken, you should know by now. I wrote it down, but I forget. Here we go, Darrell and Joe. Come on up on the stage.
Mr. Chair, point of information.
Point of what?
Point of information.
I can't hear you, Joe. Get closer.
Point of inquiry.
What's up?
As far as statewide slate, there are other positions available, like treasurer, auditor. Are we going to be going through those as well?
Are they up this year? I don't think they're
not
this year, Joe.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, man. You just did that to pull my chain. I know you guys. He's another Montco guy. What can I say? All right. Then we've got him up here. All right. And we're going to go in alphabetical order again, which means Darrell goes first. Let me give you a microphone. If I can get it out of the stupid stand. There you go.
All right. How you doing today?
2 minutes.
I am so excited to be nominated.
Hold on a second. Our timer. Where's our... Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm so excited to be nominated for governor with the Nices Group. And it is so exciting to be a part of this. I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been a Libertarian for about 25 years, worked with the Libertarian Party. Ron Paul, supported Ron Paul, was Ron Paul's bodyguard. Yeah. When he came to Trenton, I was Ron Paul's bodyguard, Libertarian Party. I've helped get at least 10 Libertarians on the ballot in New Jersey. Moved over here to Philadelphia. supporting the Libertarian Party, support the Libertarian Party cause, freedom, liberty. That's what it's all about. We got a problem. Education, jobs, healthcare, poverty, the criminal justice system. It is our time now. A lot of inner city, whether you're Spanish, Black, Italian, they're leaving the Democratic Party, but they got one problem, they go into the Republican Party. They have to come to the Libertarian Party. And I promise you, get the nomination, Governor, I will promise you this, 25%, it would be a 25% jump in the Libertarian Party next year. I guarantee you that. I'm talking about going into Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, all these areas, doing tours, guaranteeing that, listen, the Independent Party, the Libertarian Party is the best party for people who are tired of the Democratic and the Republican Party, the sellout, the sold out, the communities, and look what's happening all over the country. Failure of the Democratic Party, failure of the Republican Party. The Libertarian Party has a chance to reach out to people who never heard of the Libertarian Party. But they know about the independents, and they need to be a part of something independent so they can have a voice. The Libertarian Party is the voice for those people in these areas that are struggling and that are tired, that need help and support. We can be that change. Thank you.
Well spoken, sir.
Thank you.
No, time's up. Your time is up. Thank you. Next up, Joe Solosky, candidate hopeful for Pennsylvania governor.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the nomination. I've been working hard at this for the last 15 months. I've been traveling across Pennsylvania, meeting voters. I have been trying to, left and right, every day, trying to get our message out there, our liberty message. I initially ran for state representative in 2018. I ran for treasurer along with a couple of other great candidates in 2020. It was my first statewide race. We were able to win minor party status for this great party that year, and I intend to win it again this year. There's so many things I could talk about, and we have, it's so little time. But one of the things I love pointing out is Pennsylvania's state operating budget has increased more than 100% in just 20 years. We do not have a revenue problem in this state. We have a spending problem.
Yeah.
When I take office, I will immediately start working on the budget for that upcoming July, and I will be working to make sure we have at least a 5% budget cut every year that I'm in office.
Yeah.
I also think we need to decriminalize all prohibitions that government is sticking their nose in. That will happen in a Solosky administration. Again, I could go on and on, but I just want to say I love you all. We can work together. We have so many commonalities, and we can win this fall. This is a golden moment. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm honored.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Mr. Chair, podium mic, please. Podium mic, this side. I have a question for the candidate.
Well,
will we be opening it up for questions?
That'd be the next question. Do we want to allow time for asking questions to the candidates? I'm looking at the time. It's 4:20. We have enough time for... I mean, seriously, it's 4:20. Do we want to have questions for the candidates? All those in favor say aye. What? No, that's not what I said. We'll do it again. All those in favor of asking questions to the candidates, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, let's get the candidates back up here. It's grilling time. All right, and you could either stand, or you could sit, or you could dance, or whatever. Daryl, come on up. Grab another microphone. There's room. You can sit here now. It's up to you.
Got it. All right. James Gentleman from the state of Minnesota. So it's probably not my business. But Mr. Solosky, recently you posted on Facebook that you were coming to this convention with your gun and you're ready to take on the convention. And Nick Sarwark commented on your post, "Don't shoot until you see the whites of their hoods." You liked this comment. Do you believe that there are members of the Ku Klux Klan in this assembly?
Certainly not.
Do you condemn this comment was so reprehensible?
I did not understand Mr. Sarwark's comment, and I thought it was inappropriate, and I posted that basically in a little bit of lighthearted fun.
That's quite lighthearted. Thank you, sir.
This is for both candidates.
I'm sorry.
If you were elected, what would you do about...
Alternate mics.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Chuck.
Hi, Dr. Chuck Moulton from
Closer.
Montgomery County. I'm sorry, Dr. Chuck Moulton from Montgomery County. Question for both the candidates. Will you be running as a ticket with the Lieutenant Governor candidate? If so, do you have a preference among the three candidates for Lieutenant Governor as who you'd like to run with? And do you feel that you could run with any of those candidates should you win the governor nomination and the delegates choose to nominate a lieutenant governor who's not your first choice? Thank you very much.
What we'll do. Okay. All right, now, Matt. Thanks. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm half paying attention here. I got stuff to do.
Shall I?
Yes. Sorry.
I can run with any of those lieutenant governor candidates. They're all great people. I would be honored to be on the same ticket with them.
Same as I would be honored, and it would be a great ticket, and I'm just so excited. Energy, bringing that young energy is this exciting part of being in Pennsylvania, challenging the system, challenging the Democrat and the Republican Party. That's what it's all about. If they have that same energy of challenging, I'm all for it.
Okay. If you're elected governor, what would you do your first day to change the criminal justice system?
Well, one of the things that I would want to do, and I probably would move on that my very first day, the first thing I want to do is cut my salary 65%. But as far as criminal justice reform, I would love to see us end prohibitions, as I said. Let's end the drug war. Let's end all prohibitions where the state's sticking their nose in them.
If I was governor, the first thing I would do is, I understand about the justice system is develop educational programs for those people in the criminal justice system all over the state of Pennsylvania. Because we have individuals that are in prison, can't read or write, functionally illiterate, and when they get out of the prison, they can't get a jobs. And one other thing I would also do as governor, mandatory that all companies, if you have a record, they have a record, that they still have to have an opportunity. Don't look at their record. Look at what they can achieve, their goals. We all have made mistakes, and give everybody an opportunity. That's what it's all about in the criminal justice system. People need opportunity to work and take care of their family. That's what it's all about.
Thank you both.
Now, before we go on to the next question, just want to remind people that we adjourn the business meeting today at 4:45 p.m., which is in 20 minutes. So there are 10 people standing in line for the questions. If we leave them at 2 minutes apiece, that's going to eat up all of our time. So I would say, why don't we limit the answers to 30 seconds? Yes? All those in favor of limiting their answers to 30 seconds, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, gentlemen, so be it. All right, who's next?
That's aye. That would be me.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for both candidates. Do either of you have any criminal records that would prevent you from holding office under the Pennsylvania Constitution? Thank you.
No, I certainly do not.
No.
That was quick. Go for it.
My question's for Joe. Roughly a year ago, myself amongst among other people in the audience today, were told by you we should not be allowed to vote at convention. Why the hell should we support you now?
I stand by that also because the delegation last year enforced the 180-day rule. They passed that motion.
Please contain yourself. Joe, answer the question.
Again, the delegation passed that last year.
All right. Next question.
My question is for both candidates. Have you ever worked on any campaigns? And if so, name 2 of them, and that can include your own campaign.
Did you say
Have you ever worked on a campaign? And please name a couple of them.
Where's our time?
Well, of course, I worked on my own for state rep and treasurer. I had the extreme good fortune to help Mark Bozzacco when he ran for state rep a couple of years ago. That was an honor. It was great to be there on election day, meeting voters, representing him, and we turned out about 50% of the vote for Mark out of that precinct that day.
New Jersey, Gary Johnson campaign, and I got about 1,000 some signatures for Gary Johnson. Worked on his campaign. Lou Jasikoff when he ran for state assembly 3 years ago, and also my campaign. But Gary Johnson, Lou Jasikoff, out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, Factoryville.
Okay.
Hi, Avery Rumberger, Schuylkill. So I'm a student at a public university. Yeah, it sucks, but it's pretty expensive there, even especially compared to private universities. So what is the first issue you would push for to increase competition between universities to drop their prices?
Well, I think we've already seen some of that starting. The state system has tried to do some consolidation regionally. I would want to see that continued, but the costs are runaway, and that's the kind of thing where we could be effective quickly.
And for me, for governor, I would sit down with all these universities and ask them, we have so many young individuals that are trying to go to college, and they don't want to spend the rest of their life spending and financial aid and student loans. I would make it it has to be something you have to mandatory. Well, listen, you can't go too high. You can't, you got kids that are going to college, they got to pay $70,000, $80,000 a year.
5 seconds.
You really have to sit down with these individuals that are controlling the budget for these colleges.
Thank you. Sorry.
Dominic Pierogi, Lancaster County. My question's for both candidates. There's a 99.9% chance that you both will be locked out of debates and the media will not cover you. So please let me know how you're going to get your messages out there.
Do a lot of touring the whole state of Pennsylvania, knocking on doors, videos, radio. I have a news site, I have a Facebook page, On Fire Show, me and other individuals on there. So that's the idea of talking to people door to door, doing a tour of the state of Pennsylvania. Going to these areas where they never really heard of the Libertarian Party and just knocking on doors, going to the malls, transportation centers. These are all the things that you can do to capture that high percentage that you need.
Everything Darrell said is a great idea, and it's exactly what I've been doing for the last 15 months. I've been going to every opportunity to meet voters and to spread our message of liberty. I will be continuing to do that. I've been to state fairs, I've been on podcasts, I've been at universities. I've gone to every opportunity that we've been able to make happen and every invitation that we've received.
Okay.
For both candidates, what is your stance on the recreational use of marijuana, and how far would you take that to the recreational use of in particular, like how many grams could someone have on their person at one time? Like how far would you take that?
Well, for me, I think it should be completely decriminalized, and I really don't care how much you have on your person. You can grow it in your window box for all I care. Larry Sharp's great for saying regulate it like onions, meaning don't. So I don't care how much you have.
Yeah, I'm the sound way. Legal. It's legal. Legalize it. Let everything, listen, too many people have gone to jail. young people have gone to jail because of marijuana. It's not harmful. People use it. I've used it, and, everyone has to want to have a nice time and relax. So, nothing wrong with marijuana. Remember back in the day, they used to tell us, don't smoke weed. Don't smoke weed. And now they're saying it's
5 seconds.
legal. It's okay. And I agree. It's okay to use.
Time.
If anyone, okay.
All right. We got next.
Hi, Peter Barexa from Erie County. This is for both candidates. Both of you have suggested that you'll make economic changes and move towards a balanced budget for the state. Being as specific as possible, what are some actions you would take to achieve that?
Well, the first thing that I'll do is cut my own pay by 65% to lead by example. This state has the third highest governor in the nation, over 200 grand. I'm going to cut that to just under 70. Then I'll get to the legislature and I'm going to ask them to take cuts. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to look at every department and we're going to cut by at least 5% a year.
Well, I definitely agree. When you go to these departments, everyone's getting high figures. There should be a situation where individuals should make a certain amount of money because we look at what the taxes are. You're paying too much taxes. People are leaving different states, people leaving New Jersey, people leaving Pennsylvania. There has to be some way, and there is a way, to sit down with politicians, sit down with business people, and figure out a plan. And that's what you have to do as governor.
Okay.
Thank you both. Okay, my question is, how long have you been a small L libertarian, philosophical libertarian, and how long have you been a member of the Libertarian Party? And is there anything in your record that would make the party look bad or unprincipled?
It's a good question. I joined the party on June 2nd, 2016. We all come from somewhere. I'd been a Republican for years, and we know how that thing has devolved into what it is now. I consider myself a very capital L libertarian.
For me, I've been a libertarian. I guess.
Did you get the other part of the question about there's nothing in your background or anything that would make the party look bad? That was the second part of my question.
Certainly, I don't think so whatsoever.
Okay.
For me, I guess I've been a libertarian in college, but I wasn't considered. I never voted libertarian. I was always mainly a Democrat. Then I changed when I was in my third year in college, and I became a libertarian. And working with Lou Jacksonoff and speaking out with the Libertarian Party, then running for state assembly as a libertarian. Those are the things that I truly love about Libertarian Party. And, I guess I've been a libertarian for like 20 years.
Who we got? Josh. Wake up.
Yeah. In the aftermath of the 2020 election, right-wing media outlets claimed that libertarian votes for Joe Jorgensen in Montgomery County, the county I'm from, were fraudulent. Both major parties in the state of Pennsylvania, both Republicans and Democrats, use voting rights as a cudgel against the people. So my question to both of these candidates is, do you believe that voting fraud is an issue in the state of Pennsylvania? And what would your position be on voting rights in the Commonwealth? Both actions that you take and bills that are passed up through the Pennsylvania legislature. Thank you.
That's a lot for 30 seconds, but I'll try. I think there's a little bit of voter fraud everywhere at all times. I don't think you can ever completely get away from it. But you have to have systems in place. You have to have methods in place to ensure that as ballots are cast, they are secure. As they are transported, they are secure. As they are counted, they are indeed counted and secure. And we have to make sure we have systems in place
5 seconds.
that'll ensure that.
For me, when I saw the 2020 election and other past elections in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, there's definitely voter fraud. It is real. And what we must do as a people, as a Libertarian Party, is challenge every election, have everyone at the polling stations, educate libertarians that what will happen in 2020 shall not happen again. We have to speak out. We cannot be afraid. As libertarians, you have to understand what's happening to this country in illegal elections. There is theft out there. They stole the 2020 election. They stole other elections.
5 seconds.
And we have to make sure as a people that it will never happen again. Thank you.
All right. Now, I'm going to hang on here. When I counted off the time before, when I said there's only so much time for questions, a whole bunch of people got in line. If we're going to be able to do the lieutenant governor candidates, we're going to have to cut off questions. So does the body want to continue the questioning of the candidates? All those in favor say? All right.
Mr. Chair.
What? No. No, the body just said no. We're going to move on to speeches by lieutenant governor candidates without objection.
Overrule the ruling. Object.
Chair's ruling has been appealed. I had said that we were going to move on to lieutenant governor. All those who want to sustain the chair and move on to lieutenant governor's speeches, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
There you go.
There's been false information provided. We should know about both candidates' backgrounds.
Well, then you know what you do. Let me suggest that you. All right, two things. Let me make some announcements, and you can figure out what you guys want to do. It's up to you. Ticketing for dinner is going to begin at 5 o'clock. That is in another 22 minutes. Okay. This body is done at 4:45 unless somebody says we should extend time. Now, if we're going to extend time, we're pushing against the 5 o'clock because that's when dinner starts. And somebody's going to yell orders of the day because my manual here says 4:45. So, well, again, I would entertain a motion to extend time, but I'm not hearing it. By how much? Who's make? By one question? Extend by one question? We're not going to be able to get to lieutenant governor voting or.
Then we do it tomorrow.
I'm still waiting for a motion.
Motion to extend by 20 minutes for governor elections
There's-
and lieutenant governor to tomorrow.
There's a motion on the floor. Oh, is there a second?
There's a second.
There's a motion on the floor to extend time for 20 minutes for governor speeches and possible election. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Sounds to me.
Mr. Chair.
Sounds to me like there's more nays than there are ayes.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Sorry?
May I be recognized, please? Yep.
Why?
Larry Fry, Bradford County. It has been brought up that our gubernatorial candidate is the standard bearer for the party for this coming
Why
fall.
are you rising? What do you want to do? You want to make a motion or what?
If you let me finish, please.
No.
Why are we rushing through this? Why can't we just pick this up tomorrow?
Well then, okay.
Just stop it right where we're at, pick it up tomorrow.
You're out of order, sir, because we already had the vote on that, and it's a closed vote. Somebody suggested we do a standing vote. Why don't we do a standing vote? Well, Luke, where's our counter? All right. All those in favor of extending time 20 minutes, please stand. 20 minutes was the motion. We have 21 minutes.
If you're for a free nomination, you'd stand.
Do you want to wait for them?
Okay. While we're waiting for them to come up with the final number, we're going to announce the results of the state party official races. I turn the mic over to Joy, who has done a bang-up job.
Okay, I would like to preface this just like being as transparent as possible. I want to just like warn everyone and let them know, really read on your ballot what you're writing in because anyone can be a write-in candidate. So if you accidentally wrote somebody on the treasurer ballot that was a secretary, we have to honor that as a treasurer nomination, like as a vote for them. So just so you know, you need to keep an eye on what your ballot looks like. So you'll hear it when I announce all of the totals that there are some that went over. None of them are significant enough to have changed the results of this, but I just wanted to give everyone a heads up to really make sure you're reading those before you put them in. Okay. Eastern Vice Chair. Okay. Our winner is Anthony Portillo with 206 votes.
Wow.
Second was John Weir with 45 votes. Then Noda with 9 votes. Freya Hassenmeyer, 1 vote. Jim Weiss, 1 vote. And Pietro Gerasi, 1 vote. Okay. Central Vice Chair. Okay. And the winner is Eric Brown with 176 votes, followed by Tim McMaster with 78 votes, Noda with 7 votes, Bill Sloan with 1 vote, and Michael Malice with 1 vote. And Betty White with 1 vote. May she rest in peace.
Did she accept the nomination?
For a total of 264 votes. So if you're keeping track, I didn't announce the total for Eastern. The Eastern total vote number was 263. So very consistent there. Western Vice Chair. The winner is Bill Cox. With 215 votes. Followed by Glenn Tuttle with 34 votes. And Noda with 17 votes. For a total of 266.
You never hear this place so quiet.
I know. Okay. What's next on the list? Secretary? Okay. Secretary. I can't not do it because now that's what I feel like it needs to sound like. Okay. The winner is Greg Deal. With 229 votes. Followed by John Waldenberger with 23 votes. Laura Hackenberg with 5 votes. See, check your ballots, people. Eric Brown with 1 vote. And Noda with 7, with a grand total of 265 votes. Treasurer. Okay. The winner is Laura Hackenberg. With a total of 179 votes.
Wow.
Followed by Nicole Schultz with 78 votes. Noda with 6 votes. Greg Deal with 5 votes. And 1 invalid ballot. It was not a person. For a total of 269 votes. Congratulations, slate of 2020 committee, executive committee
All
people.
Right. Yeah, you know, here, just tell Ed. It's a push to talk button.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Okay. We'll now resume to our normally scheduled program already in progress. We're asking questions of the candidates for governor of Pennsylvania, and next up was on the left.
All right. Yeah, thank you both for answering questions. Mine is directed toward... yeah, mine's directed toward Darrell Brooks. You answered the question regarding your criminal record, and you said there was nothing that could bar you from taking office in the future. And I found an article claiming that you are you're a convicted sex offender, and you may deny that, but okay. But you also answered the question if there's anything in your background that it could tarnish our party. You said no.
Yeah.
So why did you keep that a secret?
I didn't lie about that. So what I am saying, in 2000, I was convicted of a crime that I didn't do. I was an activist, a political activist, when I was like 18 years old. So I spoke out about corrupt cops, corrupt drug dealers, and gang members. And I went, and they lied on me. I went to jail for 3.5 years for a crime I didn't do. That crime was flashing. I have a book, 37 Days. It talks about it. So I come home, run for Congress, first African-American from Trenton run for Congress, and United States Senate, came in 3rd place.
But why hide it from us?
I didn't hide it. I never hide it. I never have
Time.
a listen. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't hide it.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Yes.
I don't think we got a result on the vote on that motion to extend time. Did we?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Good point. Thank you.
Wait, ask a question.
Where you at, Luke? What was it?
Oh, I don't have a question. That was a point of order.
That was our number of habits, so you can deduce what you want from that. You can probably figure out the majority.
125 to...
125.
Oh, you only got half the vote.
Correct.
We only got half the vote.
Yes.
So what we'd have to do is get everybody against extending time to please stand. That's a good point. Here, I just ran ahead with it. All right, all those who are against extending time, and just to let you know, we have 8 minutes left.
Mr. Chair.
I would say without objection, let's continue with our questions. All those, without objection, we're going to continue with the questions. Any objection? All right.
Mr.
All those
Chair.
in favor of all those in favor of continuing the questioning, say aye. Opposed? All right, keep going. Next up, over here.
I'd like to move to table the rest of the governor discussion until tomorrow. And then, like tonight, we could have an opportunity to talk to these guys.
I love it.
Just have one-on-one chats with these guys. So if we table this until tomorrow.
All right, it's been... I think that's a great suggestion. All right, it's been moved and seconded to table the rest of the governor, lieutenant governor until the morning. All those in favor? All those opposed? Oh man, another unanimous one. Let me remind you, ticketing for the dinner starts 5 o'clock, which is in 8 minutes from now. Next, check in again tomorrow morning as a delegate. We're gonna get a new delegate count and a new everything, so be sure to check in. If you don't check in, you're not gonna be able to vote tomorrow. We still have another 7 minutes of extended time. Does anybody want to bring up anything? Oh, wait.
Podium.
Never mind. Yeah, take your ballots
Podium,
with
Mike.
you. They're worth gold, and you might be able to sell them. I don't know. Now I'm being silly again.
Podium, Mike.
Yes.
Dave Benner, Nashville delegate. I'd like to suspend the rules to visit the subject of electing Reno delegates by slate via an up and down vote in regard to the list that was recently sent to the AV representative.
Okay, there is a motion to suspend the rules to vote on the list of delegates to the National Convention that was just sent to Ed Ploy in the back of the room. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Dave Benner.
Yes, discussion.
I haven't seen the list. There's no discussion?
Yes, I'd like to speak against that motion.
Okay.
Just because of time consent.
Hang on, wait. Oh. Okay, suspension of the rules is not debatable. My parliamentarians are ganging up on me. So we can't debate it. We go directly to a vote. All's in favor of suspending the rules to give Ed the list? Is that what I heard? Don't walk away, please.
It's his motion, not mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To,
Go ahead.
to take this motion up, I mean, we'd have to view the
take
list
up the
first.
motion?
Then the body
Okay.
would be able to.
So we're going to suspend the
vote on it.
rules to modify the agenda to take up that Ed's list right now. All those in favor of suspending the rules to do that, please say aye. Aye! Opposed? Nay. That sounds like more than a 2/3 to me. All right, then we shall take it up. Who has the list? Ed.
Mr. Ploy's email should contain
Is
this
it on
list.
the... Ed, can you put it up on the screen?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I have a very important point of order.
I'm sorry, you have what?
I have a very important point that needs to be brought up.
Point of what?
Point of information, point
What's
of
your
order.
point- what's your-
I don't
what's your-
know, but it's very important either way.
What's your
And I
question?
think-
Come on, we only got a minute.
Mr.
What's your
Severs
question?
just moments ago mentioned that Mr. Brooks, I'm sorry if I said
10
my name wrong,
seconds. Give me a question.
has a criminal conviction. The Article 2 of the Pennsylvania Constitution, Section 7, prohibits anyone with a criminal record from serving in office. That was used
You're out of
against
order, sir.
that was used against our local. That was used against our own candidates multiple times
Quiet.
this year.
Everyone be quiet. John, we're not discussing that right now. We're
No, it
discussing
needs to be
this list.
discussed.
You're out of order.
You're out of
Turn
order.
off his microphone, please.
Mr. Chair, I have a
Don't call
motion
him
that
names.
relates to this
You're out of
motion.
order, Ken.
I move to postpone this motion until tomorrow after the completion of nomination of candidates. And to adjourn.
All right.
Until tomorrow at 9 a.m.
We're not adjourning. There's a motion on the floor to put this off
To
till tomorrow morning.
postpone this motion until tomorrow after the completion of nomination of candidates.
Well, that's where it is on the agenda currently. So you
Well,
just
in that case, I move to adjourn until 9 a.m. tomorrow.
recess. We don't adjourn. We recess.
Recess, I'm sorry.
All right,
Recess.
there's a motion to recess on the floor.
Until
We
9
have 2
a.m.
minutes
tomorrow.
left. Second. Okay. Do we discuss that one? I don't remember. A recess? We don't discuss it. All right, all those in favor of recessing until tomorrow morning, please sit.
Aye!
She says it's an adjournment for the day, not a recess. I don't care. We're going to pause right now, whatever the proper term is, and we're going to continue this tomorrow morning at bright and early, whatever time.
Point of order. We agreed to suspend the rules to take up this motion. It was
We
voted
can.
on in the affirmative.
Somebody could do that. We have another 1 minute.
This motion was made and confirmed by 2/3 of the body, according to you, Mr.
I'm half deaf, guys. I'm having trouble enough. Say again, please.
Mr. Chair, this motion was a rule suspension that was confirmed by yourself by a 2/3 majority of this body. This has to be taken up.
We're almost out of time. You can make a motion to extend time if you like.
Motion to extend for 30 minutes.
There goes dinner. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, speaking for the venue, Ed Ploy.
Yes, Ed.
We are up against a 5 o'clock stop. Dinner is served at this time. It cannot be changed easily,
All right.
except without consultation with the Genetti. The venue crew here is up against meal time. I'm afraid that we cannot. We might want to extend within the rules of the body, but within the organization and the venues, it is very difficult.
Okay. Sounds like orders of the day.
The body decides how long we will extend, and the motion is to extend for 30 minutes.
Not if the orders of the day say
And
we
I
go
call
to
the
5
question.
o'clock dinner right now.
Call the question.
All right. Then we'll call. Well, it's all the same. It's all the same result. So we're going to go right to a vote on the question: are these the delegates for the national convention? All those in favor. All those in favor, please say aye. I hope you guys just didn't make a big mistake. All opposed? I'll say. I would like to vote on that one, but I can't. All right. That's it. This convention. Oh, wait. Do we got a motion to recess?
Motion to recess.
Oh, wait. It's adjourn? Adjourn for the evening, my parliamentarian tells me. Whatever
Motion
the
to
right words
adjourn
are, I'll
until
see you
tomorrow.
all bright and early tomorrow morning.
That solves how you go.